Well, hello again, Grizzlies. Let's do this 2.0. It's been one of those kind of days. So, welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and we are deep diving the Sherri Papini case, criminal complaint documents. Why is this old case from 2016 back in the news? Yes, I started early, by the way. Why is it back in the news? Because she just got sentenced to 18 months in prison. Okay. The good news is I got to have some dinner in all of that epic fail on YouTube over here. I believe a lot of streams crashed, and there's a huge update going on in YouTube. So thank you for being here. If you do make it to the stream, Z says welcome back. Thank you so much. All right, yeah, 2.0. And today, when I made the Kylie Rodney video, I filmed it twice. Then I went live with it because I gave up on filming. I'm like, oh my word, it's just taking too long, and there were too many problems. Went live, okay, and then we went live with this, and now we're live again. So this would be like, I had a Red Bull. Okay, that's where we're at. I had a Red Bull. That's like emergency stash. Okay, I don't drink Red Bulls every day, but you know, we got it sometime. So I have a question. Do you want me to play the 35 minutes or so that I already had going on the previous stream, going through everything, or do you want me to just like skim this? You know what I mean? So one is to, or I could read it all myself. That's the thing. Again. But I'm thinking to just go over it a little bit quicker now and get to where we were at on page 9. Hello. Thank you, Stefan. Welcome back, G. You guys are like 1 or 2. I don't even know what it means. Okay, so option 1 would be doing this. Let me show you. Depose and this. Status follows. Introduction. So that is what we had from earlier. This is from the earlier stream that I've now deleted because it's just ridiculous, right? Okay, you guys are like skim and summarize. So just hold on 1 second. Had to put that lip gloss on, you know? Okay, so we're looking at this. It's a 55-page document, right? Okay. Replay yourself at 2 times speed. Van the chimp. So let's look at this. This is the criminal complaint, Sherri Papini. If you want to read the entire document, okay, I will. I have already put it on Patreon, and actually, you can find it really easily online. This is not one of those that you have to have secret connections. It's online. It's available. Okay. So here we go. I literally have no idea what Cameron Gamble's role in all of this is. I don't know. I'm still just learning from all this. This is already like, whoa. So we were on page 9. So on page now, this is page 2 already, introduction and background. This is actually what we know already from the video yesterday on Sherri Papini's case about her false statements, what she's been charged with. She's just been sentenced to 18 months in prison. Okay. So yes, YouTube broke earlier all over many countries. Exactly. We are back. Angela, we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, send me an email, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com to fill me in. Because that I don't know about that. Yes, I broke YouTube. We were getting a little bit, it was getting too interesting, actually. So the summary of the probable cause we had gone over. I'm not going to go over it again now. As I said, the full document is available online, and it's on Patreon if you want to read it there as well. So Sherri Papini went missing November 2016 from the 2nd for a few weeks. And then she made up this entire story. And that's what we were busy getting into, of the story she made up. Meanwhile, she was staying with an ex-boyfriend for that entire time. Yeah, exactly. This is where we're at, lace masks. So that we'll go over again. So this is page 3 now, talking about the ex-boyfriend, where he picked her up, where he dropped her off, and all of that. Which is, if you watch episode 1 that I've done on this case, which was yesterday, you will get all the details on that, okay? Or you could also pause this. You could stop the screen and read this if you want to. All right, and he got a rental car. So you see I highlighted here from where the nationwide search was conducted when Papini went missing, right? Yeah, and YouTube be like, sorry about that. If you buffered, sorry about that. If your stream crashed, sorry about that. Man, that really sucked. So at approximately 5:50 p.m. on November 2nd, 2016, Papini's then husband reported his wife Papini missing from their home. Okay, so we looked at this. I'm not going to go over it all again now. I know that that video is not available. I'm so sorry if you missed it. But basically, we know the details. He was looking for her. He came home. His kids weren't home. She wasn't home. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" And then he used the Find My iPhone app and then chased down her phone. Her phone was found about a mile away from home, and in her earbuds was wrapped her blonde strands of hair, a couple of strands of hair, which he said it looked like it was placed, you know? And to the mods, thank you for being here. I started just 15 minutes early because I'm like, this is literally ruining my Netflix night, okay? I don't watch TV often, but you guys know I wrote a book on this character. Oh, yes. Ebooks, audiobooks, and paperbacks are available. And this is by far my favorite book I've ever written. Jeffrey Dahmer was such an interesting suspect, dude, serial killer, of course, to study of like, what in the hell? And the details are, whoa. So Netflix has a new series out. Okay. But yes, you can read the book. I want to watch the Netflix. That was my first true crime book I wrote. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start early because we got to get this going on. This could take a while. You know, it's 55 pages. We're going to have a look. Thank you, Stefan, for sharing that. Love your books. Woo. I would recommend the audiobook. Sorry to plug this right here. I'm not trying to plug it. I'm telling you what my plans are. Okay, I'm very excited to watch that Netflix series. I just want to see if this one has it in. I even have a poem in here for you guys. I got drawings. I got a signature. This is one of the original ones. It doesn't have the drawing in yet. Yeah, I write books. I've self-published 55 books, but 4 of them are true crime. So Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Eileen Wuornos. There's ebooks, paperbacks, and audiobooks available. I would recommend the audiobooks because, you know, audiobooks are nice and easy to listen to. And I put my pilot voice on for you. Thank you, Miss Stewie. I can't wait to see it either. I know it's like dramatized, but man, already from the opening scene, which I was watching with having dinner. Oh, my word. I'm like, they made it so realistic. Okay, 10 episodes, I think. So, back to Sherri Papini, shall we? So just so you know why I started 15 minutes early. At approximately 5:50 p.m. on November 2nd, 2016. We know she went for a run and all that. Her ex-boyfriend picked her up, right? So immediately upon her disappearance, law enforcement scoured the area where she had appeared to have gone missing. The husband showed detectives where he found Papini's cell phone and earbuds with blonde hairs entangled in them at the south corner of Sunrise Drive and Old Oregon Trail, about 2 feet off the road. Right. Husband thought the cell phone had been placed, so it's not just anyone who thought it. The husband thought it too. The husband said that he and Papini did not have marital issues, but occasionally fought as any married couple would. The last fight they had was October 2016 over a messy room. All right. See, Bella, I'm one of those that can't eat while watching anything, literally anything. I don't know, that's weird, right? But I mean, I spent months in Jeffrey Dahmer's head to write this book, so yes. Anyway, I know all the details. Now, an analysis of Papini's cell phone found 2 numbers stored under women's names. So she had actually contacted other ex-boyfriends and put them under women's names and was actually, it seemed like she had a couple of options lined up for herself for her kidnapping fantasy, which may have even been, we were trying to speculate earlier, what's the motive? I thought it would be a sexual motive, but it seems more like a monetary, like financial motive. I don't know. What do you guys think? Exactly. It's interesting, more of a background of his life than the murders. Yeah. Stefan, I found my lace mask. Good. We're getting to that part in a moment, in 4 pages from now. Okay, so here they're ruling out who they contacted. Contacted person 1, person 2, interviewed them all, and they're like, interesting. So, man number 3 also told us that Sherri Papini had a history of lying, of making up false stories about her being abused at home. Now, I'm saying false because that's what he said. I don't know if it's false or not, but making up stories of being abused at home. And then when they broke up, she also added him to the story as well. And then investigators also interviewed several of Papini's friends. The friends recounted that Papini used to run away, and one described an incident in which Papini ran away from home at age 16 to Southern California and stayed with friends. Multiple friends also stated that Papini would make up lies, particularly about the being the victim of abuse, especially as a youth. Then on Thanksgiving morning, we saw a video yesterday. Yesterday, we also watched the full interrogation tape, so go check that out if you haven't yet. It's very interesting to see. And we also saw this little video of her like running in the road. So bizarre. So on November 24th, 2016, at 4:30 a.m., California Highway Patrol responded to several 911 calls made regarding a woman subsequently identified as Papini standing or running in the middle of the interstate, the I-5. These included a truck driver who had stopped for Papini and then called 911 to report the incident. A CHP officer found Papini with the truck driver along the I-5 near Woodland, California, in Yolo County, approximately 146 miles south of the location of her disappearance. She had a chain around her waist that one arm was bound to, with additional bindings around her other wrist and each ankle. She was transported to Woodland Hospital, where she underwent several physical examinations. She appeared to have lost a considerable amount of weight, and her long blonde hair had been cut much shorter. Yeah, she just stopped eating and she cut her hair herself, is what they later found out. She'd been branded on her right shoulder, although the exact content of the brand was indistinguishable. Man, I wish I knew what that was, right? Papini's nose was swollen. She had bruises on her face, rashes on her left arm and upper inner thighs, as well as other parts of her body, ligature marks on her wrists and ankles, burns on her left forearm, and bruising on her pelvis and the fronts of both legs, all caused by herself. Yeah, that's the thing. The ultimate cry for attention, Divinia. Mm-hmm. Hello, heavenly clouds. I do love the chiropractor. Yes. But it's cases like this that I think that some other cases aren't taken as seriously. Selfish woman made herself a victim willingly. And it got so much worldwide attention, which so many other cases really could have used that attention, right? I know, and for 4 years, Van Chim says, can you imagine what's going on in her head, feeling so proud she fooled everyone? Can you imagine it? No wonder boyfriend returned her to owner. All right. So while at the hospital, Papini's clothing was collected for DNA sampling, including her sweatshirt, sweatpants, socks, and underwear. Now, this is where it started getting interesting, you see. She told investigators that this was her original underwear, okay, from the day of her disappearance. Whether it was washed or not, we do not know, and we don't want to know. The clothing was submitted to the California Department of Justice, the Bureau of Forensic Services, Reading Laboratory for processing. Mixtures of DNA consistent with Papini and one male contributor who was not her husband were recovered from multiple cuttings taken from Papini's underwear and one cutting taken from Papini's sweatpants. As I said earlier, I don't want that job of cutting up that underwear. Oh my word. The male contributor's DNA to Papini's clothing was uploaded to CODIS, where they were routinely searched against profiles from case evidence as well as individuals in the database. In 2020, so this was like 4 years later, a familial match to the male contributor DNA was identified, which eventually led to the ex-boyfriend as described in greater detail below. If you wouldn't mind, could you please hit the thumbs up and share this to Twitter or social media, wherever you can, because it will help other people know, oh my word, she's live again. Because I think I ran out of notifications for the day. Oh yeah, Darla, we don't want to know. We don't want to know. What is up, Katie? I'm back. And let's hope YouTube doesn't crash again. Then I'm really going to be like, oh my word. I hope not. Touch wood, touch wood. Okay. Now, here we go. Papini's allegations, of abduction by two Hispanic women at gunpoint. She made this up in her head. On November 24th, 2016, the day that Papini was located, SCSO detectives attempted to interview Papini at Woodland Hospital. And during an ambulance ride from the Woodland Hospital to another facility, Papini then refused to speak to the SCSO detectives, so they gave the audio recorder to her husband. We haven't seen that in many cases where they're like, listen, hubby, would you mind recording this conversation with her? Because we really need to know what happened here. Because she was refusing to talk to law enforcement. Okay. The interview was recorded and transcribed in its entirety. Papini provided the following information in the interview. Papini stated that her abductors alluded to law enforcement being involved in her kidnapping. Her story gets more bizarre. Two imaginary Hispanic women who just listened to mariachi music all the time, is what she said, over and over. Yeah, these two women, they were even going to sell her to some ring where law enforcement was also involved. Wow. And so she didn't want to speak to law enforcement. Papini explained that her abductors read articles to her. Wow, they read your goodnight story, did they? That stated Papini had left voluntarily as opposed to being kidnapped, which Papini denied. Further along in the interview, Papini again said that her abductors told her that law enforcement was involved in her kidnapping. Papini stated, "She was laughing at me. No one believes you. Everyone thinks you ran away. No one believes you. Guess what? The buyer's a cop. They're never going to find you." Again, I'll say, I hope she never writes a fiction book in her life because the storyline's not very good, eh? Later in the same interview, Papini expressed concern because officers were writing everything down that she was saying. I mean, how dare cops do that? I mean, you never see cops anywhere with like a notebook and like a pen, right? And she repeatedly stated she did not want to talk to law enforcement, okay? She freaking set her boundaries. Rochelle says, "You did not get a notification?" I'm assuming not, right? I hope people will find me because I think not only are notifications screwed today, YouTube is undergoing a massive update, which is always a good thing. But in the end, the updates will be great. But going through it, woo. I also love mariachi music. My father lives there. I can't believe how many locals are here. Is her last name the same as the bread? Papini. It's not panini, it's papini. Okay, you got a notification. Good job. Good job. Very nice. So here we go. Papini said two Hispanic women abducted her, although one of the women brought her back. There was an older one and a younger one. They were Hispanic. They spoke Spanish a lot. And they're quoting her there. Yeah, one would think if they're Hispanic, they speak Spanish a lot, eh? The Hispanic woman always wore masks and short black leather gloves. Papini described the older woman as really mean and the younger one as seeming reluctantly involved. She described the younger abductor as smaller with curly long brown hair who spoke more Spanish. Papini described the older woman as taller and fat, had straight dark black hair with gray in it, and a raspy voice. The older abductor hit the younger abductor. Like, I wonder if she's projecting any of her own trauma, if there was any such trauma. I would love to figure out her, like, just from the outside, her psychology. Like, what was her mother like? Did her mother look anything like what they're describing here? What is she doing? Like, it feels like a projection of trauma, right? I don't know. The older abductor hit the younger abductor. Although Papini never saw this happen, she could hear it. Papini stated that her abductors always wore masks, sometimes different colored bandanas, and sometimes lace masks, getting fancy during this kidnapping. Papini had a hard time remembering many details about her abductors, including a description of the clothing they were wearing or the words on a hat that one of them was wearing. She described the events that occurred at the time she was abducted, and this is where we were at because this was just too good. The story was like, right? Oh no, Michelle says, I was watching out for these women. I think the whole community was at the time, right? If you were living in the area for 4 years, you were probably looking for these women, right? Mm-hmm. Very sad that she accused an ethnic population. So much detail for a lie, right? Like so much detail, but also so vague. When they actually ask her the hard question, she's like, I don't know. So here's the events that occurred at the time she was abducted. This is where it becomes like a fantasy, right? A dark colored SUV containing two Hispanic women first drove past her, then backed up when they saw her jogging on the road. One of the women had on sunglasses, and Papini believed that she said, "Can you help me?" Papini walked towards the woman, who opened the door of the vehicle to show Papini that she had a gun, which Papini described as a little revolver. The woman told Papini to put her phone down. This is what it is. What bad novella did she watch? She's bananas. Thank you, Liz. I agree. And I'm thinking she read 50 Shades of Grey. And I don't know what else she watched, but it's a combination of all that, right? So it's like these two Hispanic women. Can you help me? She walks towards him and says, the show, look, we've got a gun. It's a little revolver. The woman told Papini to put her phone down. Papini recalled the woman said something to the effect of, "We don't want to kill you." Papini put her phone down and got into the SUV. She described the SUV as having tinted windows and either no seats or one seat on the far side and a hump that went up. Okay, it's not a hump that went down. All right. No inverted humps here. It's a hump that went up and one seat on the far side. I mean, are you describing a spaceship at this point or, you know? What kind of abduction are we talking about here? Papini said she did not see where the woman took her because they wrapped something over her face. When her husband asked if her kidnappers put a bag over her head right away, she said, "I don't remember. I don't know. I think she may have tased me, and she would have known if they tased her. The next thing I remember is all my clothes were gone." Damn, as I say, that escalated damn quickly. It's like, put the phone down. We don't want to kill you. Just get in the car. She gets in the car. I think they tased me, but then also my clothes were just gone. Like, why would they be? Why would two imaginary Hispanic women be like, woo, let's undress this lady right now? Goodness. Okay, so then she said, the next thing I remember is all my clothes were gone. Although Papini tried to stay awake during the drive, she kept falling asleep. I think after being tased, I don't know, your adrenaline's going to be pumping, especially if you're being abducted. I don't think you're going to be like falling asleep. Her husband tried to get Papini to describe the road trip after she was abducted. Like, how long did the trip take? Were there changes in altitude that you could feel? What could you describe about the vehicle that you were in? And she responded, "I don't remember a lot. I'm missing time. The car smelled really bad, like sewage. She stuck me with something and I kept falling asleep." I do wonder what the hell kind of movie was this? She said that the older abductor liked to hit her and the younger one would yell at her in Spanish. She described how she tried to manipulate her abductors to give her more information about why she was abducted, including offering to clean and cook for them. Oh, now it's a Cinderella story. However, anytime the young abductor spoke to Papini, the older woman hit her. She said the woman put her in a closet with a bucket with kitty litter in it for her to use as a toilet. I would love to see how that went. No, I don't want to see. She described the closet as containing shelves and a metal pole to which the woman hooked a cable and a chain to, with the other end of the chain hooked around her waist. There was enough length of it for Papini to reach the bed, but she could not reach the door. The chain was unmovable because it was bolted into the ceiling. Sure, they prepared. These imaginary abductors prepared. They had a chain bolted into the ceiling, even. High-tech stuff here. Papini described how, when she did not listen to the woman, they would lock her in the closet. She stated that there were boards on the windows of the room that she was kept in. She provided additional descriptions of her captivity location and her abductors. They would play music loudly, that really annoying Mexican music, and they would watch TV. There was a fireplace. I could smell it. I could hear that sound. You know, when you move the handle to open the fireplace, it made like a creaky sound, and it was cold. It was always cold. And it seemed like it rained almost every night. Oh my word. Now she's in a universe in which they're making fire, but it's always cold. And then it's also raining every night. Right? Yeah. This Sherri and Amber should get together to write horror movies. I know, right? She took parts of every 2020 and 48 Hours episode she ever watched and then put them together into one. It is outrageous, right? This is so outrageous. Jessica says Hispanic women are the best housekeepers. She's ridiculous. A lot of movie scenes. This is so crazy. Wow. So the husband asked Papini if she ever heard anything distinct that might lead investigators to her abductors, and she answered, "I heard birds. I never heard anything else. They put the stereo right outside my door and played it super loud." She described how her location was always cold and that her abductors would take her blankets away if she made a noise. "Don't take my blankie." So it's raining every night. They're making fire all the time. She can hear them making the fire because, it's that creaky sound. But they didn't hear it. The next sentence, she said, "Did you hear anything else?" "Just birds. I never heard anything else." Well, what about the creaky fireplace that you just said you heard, right? Papini told her husband that there was no sexual abuse while she was in captivity. And to that, I say, interesting. Was it consensual then? Because you stayed at your ex boyfriend's house. So can you tell us more about that? That would be great. That would make a lot more sense. Who said 50 Shades of Grey? Says Amy P. Thank you, Heavenly Clouds, for hitting the like button. Oh my word, look at your picture. So cute. Fury would love it. Yes, what kind of bird? Yes, what kind of bird? All right, so Papini said that her abductors fed her once a day, maybe rice or tortillas, sometimes apples. However, if Papini behaved, her abductors gave her additional food. She stated that many times her abductors gave her cream of wheat to eat and described how everything tasted horrible and was crap or leftover crap. Papini was also given a bottle of water. To give her meals, her abductors opened the door, put it in there, and slammed the door. Oh, now we go into the Green Mile script. Am I making you guys hungry with this? Exactly, Angela. It was a mariachi singing parrot. Do they eat wheat stuff? Cream of wheat. I don't know. She's making up stuff. When Papini disappeared, she was wearing jogging clothes. When she returned, she was wearing gray sweatpants, a gray sweatshirt, and her original underwear. During the interview, she could not explain what happened to her original clothes. Because that's a mystery, right? She said she fell asleep during the car ride after she was abducted and woke up in a room with different clothes on with no recollection of how her clothes came to be changed. But you literally just said that when you got in the SUV, you remember, poof, your clothes were gone. All I had left was my underwear, which she let me wash when I took a shower. Okay. Right, but there was a chain, right, in the ceiling, bolted to the ceiling, and it was around your waist, and you could crawl to the kitty litter. And you also knocked yourself out on the basin and the bathtub, but apparently she was only allowed to wash her underwear when she took a shower. Papini also stated her abductors cut her hair and put an adult diaper on her. I'm telling you, I don't know how to make this. I can't like literally skim this because it's just like, what? You see what I mean by all the dirty details? What's up, strip waffles? More. Her account of what happened is so crazy it's hard not to laugh. I know, right? I am aware it's a mental health issue going on here, but damn, to fake a kidnapping like this? A hoax. It's terrible. I know, right? Who falls asleep after being kidnapped? I'm also wondering, Jessica, she's starting to think maybe she's projecting some abuse from her childhood because that's a thing. Cream of wheat is a staple in Hispanic families. Okay. Also wondering what good behavior was. Blaming all the black cats in the house. Did she say why she made up these abductors who wanted to kidnap her? No, but what we looked at yesterday was I did like an overview of the case. And what we looked at there was that they were apparently, according to her, two Hispanic, I would say girls then in school with her that she said bullied her a lot. So that's probably also made up. I don't know. But maybe there's truth in that. And maybe that's why she made it up. Not sure. She also stated that she was branded after the first time that she tried to escape. I'd love to know how that went. I tried to get out the first time, and that's when she branded me. Oh, you mean he, ex-boyfriend, on your right shoulder with his, I think he was left-handed. Papini described how her abductors brought a table in, hit her back, and tied her to the table. When they branded Papini, her skin made a sizzling, popping sound, and it was very painful. I think there's some truth in this, huh? Later, in the same interview, Papini said her abductors told her that her buyer wanted Papini branded because that was what he liked. Oh, I see. Was she wearing her underwear under or over the adult diaper? That is the question, right? She wore the sorry. She wore the underwear over the diaper. Wait, she was wearing a nappy? I know, right? The story is the story is so crazy. Wow. Papini never heard her buyer's name because the abductors spoke mostly Spanish, and Papini did not understand more than a few Spanish words. These included discussions about medicine, traffic cameras, a delivery date, and a gamble, as well as Spanish insults directed at Papini. When Papini would take a shower, she was guarded by the younger abductor holding a gun. The abductor said they were not supposed to hurt Papini and also mentioned getting paid. She could not remember much of the day that she was returned. She heard the two women arguing in Spanish. She believed the younger abductor was saying that Papini needed medicine. She heard what she believed was a gunshot and then said she could hear the younger ones leave. She said the younger abductor was gone for a long time and then she was left alone in the house. Papini stated that she screamed and screamed until she fell asleep. Damn. She explained, I listened so carefully, but it was all in Spanish. I heard the word gambling. Papini was asleep when the younger abductor came to get her leave. Came to get her to leave. It happened really fast, and then Papini was in the car. She believed the pillowcase was put over her head at some point, but did not recall when or how. She said she tried hard to stay awake during the drive, but it was hard for her to stay awake, and she kept falling asleep again. So, like on the way, while being abducted, and then while being dropped off, you're just falling asleep and asleep. Wow. Exactly. How did she know they were insults if she doesn't know Spanish? Why didn't she just write a book instead of committing this crime? I know, right? Don't know if she thought maybe the GoFundMe would be a quicker way to make some money. I don't know. Yeah, she knows the word gambling in Spanish. I don't even know the word gambling in Spanish. How does she know the word? And all these things that she says they were talking about, right? I mean, she knows that in Spanish they were talking about medicine, traffic cameras, a delivery date, and a gamble. And insults, but yet she doesn't know like even more than 2 words. Right. So we keep going. She clipped something off Papini's arm that allowed her to move her arm, and then the abductor sped off. Papini's abductor was already far away by the time Papini was able to pull the pillowcase off her head. She stated that she ran to a church and banged on the door, but nobody was there. She ran to the freeway, where she tried to flag down motorists. Eventually, a truck driver stopped for Papini and assisted her until CHP arrived. On November 28th and 29th, 2016, SCSO detectives interviewed Papini at her residence and the residence of a family member. These interviews were recorded and transcribed in their entirety. During these interviews, Papini described more details about her abduction. She refused to be alone with the detectives and insisted her husband be present. Yeah, until she was busted, which we saw on that interrogation tape yesterday, huh? Then he's like, "Can I leave the room? Can I speak to you alone?" And she's like, "Ah, okay." Like she's just sitting there, like she didn't then say, "No, no, no, I don't want to be left alone." She was like, her head was buried in her hands. She was so ashamed of my word. She planned this out. In my opinion, she knew exactly what she was doing, using mental health as an excuse. Possibly, right? Bet she was hoping to sell her story to Hollywood. Rochelle, boy, she's some storyteller. I know, right? These stories is just unbelievable. Detectives explained to Papini that even though their questions might seem trivial or dumb, there was a reason the detectives were asking those questions. Papini explained that she understood because she actually watched a lot of crime shows on television. Well, there you have it. She watched a lot of crime shows. Oh, so you really are piecing all this together. You've just taken inspiration from everywhere, right? SCSO detectives asked Papini to start from the beginning and describe the events that led up to her abduction. Man, those detectives, they were so patient throughout, right? She described the morning of her abduction as following her usual routine. She took her kids to daycare, cleaned up around the house, and began to wrap a Christmas present for her husband in November 2nd. Okay, then. Wrapping Christmas presents on November 2nd. Does anyone else do that? If you do, great, but damn, that's early. Van the Shimp. Maybe she was watching Grizzly True Crime then. Grizzly True Crime did not exist then yet. Otherwise, she better have. Imagine it. Was she watching this? Oh man. I only started my channel last year, 2021, in June, end of June, 28th of June, I think it was. Unfreaking believable. I know, right? Here she says, wrapping a Christmas present. At approximately 11 a.m., Papini sent a text message to her husband asking him to come home for lunch. Papini joked with the detectives that husband was embarrassed about the last text message that she sent before she disappeared, which she stated was along the lines of, "Honey, would you please come home to have sex with your wife for lunch?" Interesting. Along the lines of. We could just imagine what it actually said. Oh boy. And it sounds like she enjoyed telling the detectives this, right? It sounds like she enjoys making people uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, get that popcorn. You guys are saying, let's get some popcorn, lol. Oh boy. So she sent this text message to her husband: Honey, would you please come home to have sex with your wife for lunch? Since the husband would not be able to come home for lunch, Papini decided to go for a run. Just like burn off that frustration, huh? She explained that she recently had a breast augmentation procedure and had just begun to heal enough to start jogging. At this point, I think she's like turned into an erotica uh, audiobook narrator right there with the detectives. Like, let me tell you, yeah, this is what I said to him. You want to come home, have sex with your wife for lunch? Also, I just had a boob job, and so I was healed enough to just go running with this. And I mean, what are you trying to do, lady? What are you trying to do? My goodness. She explains. Okay, I've already read that. Papini wanted to train for a local 5K race and had been using a cell phone app to help her train. She almost always listened to her wedding song, Michael Bublé's Everything, when she ran because it's a good pace keeper. Highly doubt that. I would love. You know what? When I go to gym tomorrow, I'm gonna put Michael Bublé's Everything song on repeat, and I'll have to report back how that went. It's a good pace keeper. Papini described the route that she took and the people she saw along the route. As she approached the end of Sunrise Drive, she saw a dark colored SUV with a long. Now we have to hear version number 2, right? With a long back window drive past her and then back up after the occupants of the vehicle saw her. When the vehicle backed up, the woman in the passenger seat called out to Papini and asked for help. Papini explained that she had her phone in her right hand and her earbuds on, and she took out her left earbud to hear the woman. When Papini approached the vehicle, the woman opened the door, and Papini saw she had a small revolver. This was not a large revolver, okay? It was a small one. She immediately ducked down, set her phone and earbuds on the ground, and pulled out some of her hair to leave with the phone and earbuds. Because she's smart. Remember, she watches crime shows. Okay? Michael Bublé's not pacekeeping music. I know, right? Can't wait for those results. I'm going to listen to tomorrow in the gym. Yes, I'll be listening to Michael Bublé Everything on repeat. Bet you throw your phone at the wall in the gym after it plays no more than 2 times. Oh man, yeah, the detail is amazing, but wrong. so, so because she's watched all these crime shows, you see, she's like, "Oh my word, little revolver! Pull out my earbuds, put the phone on the ground, pull out some hair, tangle it in the earbuds. Okay, at least they'll find me that way." Okay. She said she believed the woman said something like, "We don't want to hurt you. We don't want to kill you." Papini could not remember getting into the car. She remembered she had a pillowcase over her head. Oh, I thought that was only on the way back. But now you remember you had a pillowcase over your head, but had no recollection of how the pillowcase came to be over her head. She stated she woke up already in the vehicle with a pillowcase over her head, and it smelled of laundry detergent. I thought it smelled of sewage. That's what you said earlier. Papini stated that she felt nauseous and cold during the drive. She was lying in the back of the vehicle on the floor. The road was windy, her wrists hurt, and her hips were achy from the way she was positioned. I'm sure. I'm sure they were. When a detective asked how long it took for Papini to get. Sorry, this is just so ridiculous. Focus. When a detective asked how long it took for Papini to get achy hips when she laid on her side, Papini estimated about 40 minutes based on the television show that she last watched, okay, which was a crime television show called Blacklist. Ah. When asked further questions by detectives regarding the trip, Papini could not describe the direction the vehicle went after she got into it and did not recall any stops during the trip. No stops for snacks, nothing? Papini could not determine the length of the trip because she kept falling asleep. Her 2 abductors were women. She could hear them speaking, but they spoke in Spanish, which Papini could not understand. Only later, when they spoke about, traffic cameras, gambling, a delivery date. Oh, then she could understand, right? When a detective asked if she recalled any music during the trip, Papini answered, yes, mariachi music. Papini could not remember if she heard any commercials to suggest that it was a radio playing the music or if it was some type of streaming music from an app. Hmm. Janice, I am now picturing this bag on head, underwear with diaper, and lace masked mariachi music ladies. Yeah, Blacklist is a great show. Yes. No, no shade there. But she's like, listen, I know that my hips started aching after 40 minutes because I just saw it on a show. Wow. Never mind about what happened to the hump in the car and the seat being missing. Papini did not remember getting out of the vehicle. The first thing that she remembered was waking up in her room. She had zip ties around her wrists and was no longer in the clothes that she'd been jogging in. She was, I almost said dogging. That would have made sense too. Jogging in. She was wearing sweatpants, a sweatshirt, and no socks. That doesn't make sense either. Detectives asked Papini if these sweats were the same sweats she had on when she was recovered. She said no, because, they would change me. Detectives asked Papini how many times she thought she was changed, and Papini stated, yeah, I think maybe one more time. The sweatshirt, the top was changed more. Was it now? Because you just recently had that augmentation? Oh, I see what's going on here. Petunia, I don't remember this much about this morning. You know what, Petunia? Me neither. Yeah, did they they change the diapers too? I don't know. This case is so crazy. I love reading documents, but I'm especially loving reading this document because I'm like, damn, it's like a whole story, right? When she woke up in the room, Papini tried to break the zip ties off her wrists, probably from the crime show she watched, right? She initially stated that her wrists were bound with zip ties behind her back and couldn't break them. When she couldn't break the zip ties, she chewed them. How? Behind your back? She chewed them until she could break them and cut her lip in the process. Okay, but they were tied behind your back, right? So can you please explain to me how the hell you're chewing there? What's that? What's that all about? Chewing? Whoa. Her wrists were bound with zip ties behind her back and she couldn't break them. When she couldn't break them, she chewed them until she could break them and cut her lip in the process. She chewed the zip ties behind her back. Right. Okay, then. So then they say detectives asked Papini if her wrists were bound with one zip tie or two. She said one. She explained that she unsuccessfully tried to do one of those moves to chop her. I told you she's been watching these shows. We've all seen those on TikTok, right? When your hands are tied and you like literally go like pa to break it. But she eventually got them off by biting through them, which cut her lip. Remember, behind her back. Damn, that's flexible. Papini said that anytime she made noise, her captors would come running into her room. Detectives asked Papini if there was ever a time that she made a noise and her abductors would not come running in. She said no, it was pretty much almost every time. Papini stated later in the interview that her abductors often played loud music outside of her room. When detectives asked Papini if she ever felt as though she was the only person in the house, she responded no and explained that she could feel movement in the house and the radio was often blaring loud music. She said that when the music wasn't playing, her abductors would hear her moving in her room and come rushing into the room to beat her. Detectives stated that Papini mentioned in a previous interview that she heard the television and asked if she picked up on any commercials or anything that could help them identify the location of where Papini was held. Just remember, at the time, the FBI, the sketch artist with the FBI, actually made sketches of these two women, and they were looking for these women for 4 years. Bad, right? Ah, the song from Michael Bublé. It's got a nice beat, good for exercise. Well, tomorrow I will be listening to it. All right. So they say, sorry, just lost my place for a second. Detective stated Papini mentioned in a previous interview she heard the TV. Okay, yeah. Papini said no because she kept falling asleep and the television was in Spanish. She said the sound of the radio was scary to me, but the TV was, I feel like I would just kind of rest more. Papini never heard English on the radio or on the television. She later stated that the television wasn't on often, and if they had been English, she might just not have heard it because the television volume was so low. Mm. They asked Papini about the sound she heard while she was in captivity. She said she listened for neighbors and cars, but she heard nothing. She then stated that she heard the birds. The detectives asked Papini what kind of bird she heard, and she said, wait, she stated, I know I heard a flicker because I know what a flicker sounds like. Eh. Also, here's a little a note that says Papini did not clarify how she was able to get her zip tied wrist from behind her back to the front of her body to be able to chew them off. There's a little note there, you see? I know I heard a flicker because I know what a flicker sounds like. Papini told detectives she heard the flicker from the window of the room in which she was held. Is a flicker a bird? This is the thing. If you were abducted, you would not be able to sleep very well. I agree. Yeah, did it flicker in Spanish too? A cuckoo bird, a canary. What kind of bird? A flicker. I don't know. Caca. I know, right? Oh boy. After Papini was able to get the zip ties off her wrist, she tried to open the door of the room, but it was locked with a deadbolt. Damn. These people are prepared. Locked with a deadbolt. I mean, no, what story is this now? She stood on the bed to get to the window, which was covered with two boards. Papini stated that she yanked the fucker out of the wall super quick, referring to a board over the window, and broke her nail in the process. Just yanked that fucker right out. I would love to see her say that. Oh my word. The noise she made while trying to get the boards off the window caused the two abductors to rush into Papini's room. They struck Papini with something, although Papini did not see the object her abductors used to hit her and thought it could have also been a taser. Horrendous taser. The next thing Papini recalled is waking up in a lot of pain on her back, side, back of the head, and her neck was sore. I would put that together. Pain on her backside, oh, back of the head, and your neck was sore. Okay, I hear you. She stated that's all I remember from that experience. In her previous interview in the hospital and during the ambulance ride, Papini stated that she was branded as punishment for her first escape attempt when she pulled the board off the window. In those same interviews, Papini also stated that her abductors told her that her buyer wanted her branded. Detectives tried to get clarification from Papini and said it was their understanding that it was after this first escape attempt that she was branded. She explained that no, the burn occurred later or during a later punishment. She stated that her abductors would hurt her when Papini would look up at her, and any time Papini wasn't on all fours with her head down. Again, I'm still thinking there's some truth in this. This branding just slays me. Anyone else in the chat been branded before? Anyone? I won't laugh. If you've been branded, I'm sorry. Unless it was consensual and by choice, then okay. Yeah, broke a nail. There is your violent kidnap issue. She broke a nail. You guys. Oh, wow. There are 14 species of flicker birds across North and South America. Okay. Pain in the backside. Typist versus litter box. Nailgate. That's what I'm thinking, Jessica. I think there's some truth in this. Mm. Oh, man. I can't help laughing. I really try to be serious about it. I understand, but it's like a hoax. It's a kidnapping hoax. They got a lot of GoFundMe money. There's a lot of stuff that we'll see at the end here of like, wait, what? Sounds a little bit shady. In this case, man, the story, damn it. It's so tragic when you break a nail. Welcome to membership. We are anonymous. If you guys are members, make sure you check out the community tab because sometimes I share a link on the community tab for YouTube members and the same link on Patreon. And then you're all together. So don't share that link out there on social media, but check it out because there's lots of stuff there for you that you might have missed out on. In her previous interview in the hospital and during the ambulance ride, she said she was branded as punishment for her first escape attempt. I just want to read this one again. She pulled off the pulled the board off the window, right? Her abductors told her that her buyer wanted her branded. I think ex-boyfriend may have wanted her branded because he actually bought the tools to brand her with. And then she made him throw those tools away. because, she's possessive like that. Don't you dare. There must be no risk of you branding someone else in the future, okay? So anytime that apparently that she would look up, I almost want to say at him, and anytime that she wasn't on all fours with her head down, she would get punished. Oh. Detectives asked Papini how she came to understand that she had to drop down to the floor whenever her abductors came into the room, and Papini explained that her abductors often told her, "Don't look at me," although they never said to get on all fours. Detectives continued to ask Papini to explain when and how she was branded and why she had said it was punishment for her first escape. She explained that the branding was not punishment trying to escape through the window, but for making too much noise. Oh. Yes, she asked him to buy it. Exactly. Sorry if I'm implying that. She asked him to buy it and then asked him to throw it away. He was like, "Can't I keep it? And maybe just like, maybe I need it for wood one day." And she's like, "No, you will throw this away." Papini said the branding was done all in one extended time period and that it was the older abductor who did the actual branding. The younger abductor was to the right and behind Papini. Interesting. It's almost like she's describing the ex boyfriend and herself, right? And Papini believed it was the younger abductor who held the tools that they used to brand her with. Papini could not see the tools her abductors used because they were behind her, but she described a clicking sound similar to the tinking of a metal pan. If you were watching a show where they were removing a bullet from someone and dropping it into a pan, she had a hard time remembering the details because she was in so much pain, both from the branding and also because of the weight of her body on her breast implants. She just had to add that, didn't she? I just want to have a quick sip of water here. Are we ready? Okay. That wasn't water either. It was cola. You're like, that's not water. I know, right? It wasn't. My water's right here, though. Okay. So she's basing this on a lot of shows she's watched, huh? Detectives asked Papini if she was held down while she was branded. She said, "I wasn't necessarily held down. It was like my arm, like I couldn't pull up." Papini did not know what her abductors used for a heat source. But you did know, because you asked him to buy it. Papini offered up the possibility that it could have been a craft tool of some sort that was used to brand her, but she never saw it. She postulated that the tool was smaller than a fire poker, more like the size of a screwdriver, as her abductor was close to her. He sure was. The thing is, I've always muted to take a sip. I literally have always done that. But yes, that email I got, if you don't know what we're talking about, I did a short on it. Yes. Interesting. So she explained that after she tried to escape by ripping the board off the window, her abductors put a chain around her waist and tethered her to a cable attached to a pole in the closet. These descriptions, they just get more and more. That's why we keep reading, right? She could reach the bed, but not the door or the window. She tried to get the chain that was around her waist down over her hips, but her abductors caught her trying to do this and tightened the chain. It was the cable that was attached to a pole in the closet that made noise when she moved. Papini stated, "Fucking pole is the only reason I was there." Really? The pole's the only reason I was there? Really? She tried to rip the pole out of the closet, which caused her hands to bleed and her fingernails to break when she tried to get the screws out. She could not remember if the pole was in the closet before her escape attempt. Detectives asked Papini what she ate while she was in captivity. Her answers included the following: cream of wheat, but dry and barely mixed. Once she was given 2 apples, a weird cracker, scraps like the fat off of a piece of meat or something, a piece of bread, and mostly tortillas and homemade gritty Spanish rice. She could have tried pole dancing. Maybe there was a pole there. This is bananas. I know, right? Yeah, what about the cat food? You had kitty litter and all, right? Interesting. So was the scam for GoFundMe to pay for the implants? Imagine it. Oh my word. Goodness me. Okay, Papini described how she tried to exercise every day so she could keep a routine while she was in captivity. Sure, you're eating like 2 to 300 calories a day, and like you're trying to exercise to keep a routine. However, she had difficulty keeping track of the days because she did not sleep at regular times and then generally slept a lot. Detectives asked her how she could exercise without making noise that would alert her captors. They stated that she would pull the cable tight, tuck it between her legs. Ah, okay. Yeah, obviously she wanted to star in her own movie. Sick as F. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meow. Probably like that. Oh no. Yeah, she's definitely famous now. But now she's like super embarrassed, right? Yeah, her weight was like 87 pounds when found. Mm-hmm. Needs exercise to maintain circulation in her limbs. Yep. That's true. The exercise part that's like every convict movie where you gotta stay tough to fight people out in the yard. Exactly. Stay in shape for my buyer. That's what I'm asking. Was she trying to seduce law enforcement with these answers? It sounds a little bit like it, right? Okay. Papini told detectives that her abductors punished her for trying to escape by burning her forearm. She could not describe the object to the detectives, but believed that they used something metal. Her abductors provided her with a bucket, initially described as a trash can, for her to use a toilet. Now, what happened to the kitty litter? A bucket. Okay. Papini suggested to her abductors that they put kitty litter in the bucket. I tried to say, if you line it with a bag and put kitty litter in it, it'll probably make your job a little easier. Oh, the kitty litter was her idea. Papini's abductors took her advice, headed out to those stores, picked up some damn kitty litter, came back, and then lined the bucket with kitty litter. Mm, mm, mm. Can you believe it? What's up, Kelsey? I know, right? How many toilets does she need? She was 87 pounds. We should get Papini and Arias to become pen pals. I know, right? Jody Arias. Woo. Yeah, I know. What happened to the diaper? If she is histrionic, part of her standard being is likely excessive talking about and using her body for attention, even in law enforcement situations. Well, that makes sense, right? She's doing that. Catwoman could have escaped. Wait, I want to read this one. Want to take me back to your holding cell for a little holding? Wink, wink, nod, nod, smiled Miss Papini when Detective Tom Selleck gave her the eye. It sounds about like that, right? Okay, so they took her advice. So the kitty litter was her advice. Papini was given a shower twice while she was being held. She could not recall the approximate days that she was given showers because she was unable to tell the passage of time while she was in captivity. She described the first shower as hurting her because she had burns and open wounds. She described the bathroom as having a high pressured shower, I'm sure. The shower had light colored speckled tile with a crack in it. There was no shower curtain, and the shower head was chrome and inexpensive. High pressure, though, right? Papini's older abductor stood at the door, while the younger abductor stood behind Papini. She did not look at her abductors because she was always told not to look at them. Papini was provided with a body wash that smelled like coconut, but no shampoo. Papini first stated that she washed her underwear in the shower, but later stated that she kept her underwear on while she showered and only had a few seconds to wash herself. She was not provided with a towel to dry herself. She tried to hit the younger abductor with something but couldn't remember what it was that she used to hit her abductor. She stated, I tried to hit her with something in the bathroom, and then the next time I went in the bathroom, everything was gone. The mirror was gone, the towel rack was gone. Whoa, now the mirror. Tried to hit her with something in the bathroom. The next time I went, everything was gone. Mirror, gone. Towel rack, gone. Damn. That too, Bella. Exercise in a diaper. And yes, she was in captivity for about 3 weeks. It was November 2nd to November 24th. Yep. 2 showers in 3 weeks. That's what I did during lockdown. Yeah, sanity gone, right? Whew. I know. I'm not even trying to make it a comedy, right? I know some people feel very uncomfortable because it's a mental health issue here, but damn. It's like Amber Heard is also a mental health issue, right? I think that's actually one of the YouTube's naughty words saying her name. AH is also a mental health issue, right? That does not involve any murder. Because yesterday I was saying, well, should we feel sorry for Ted Bundy? And then afterwards I thought about it. I'm like, well, those are serial killers and murderers, whatever. So she's not that. But if this goes along sort of, if this is something like what Amber Heard has, now I said it again. Damn it, said the naughty word again. AH has the histrionic personality disorder. If that is something that she may have, wow, it's just snark worthy because it's like, what is going on here? Like, I mean, we saw AH lie so much, right? A lot. Diapers, litter box, bucket. Check, check, check. Patty Pink says, oh, it's okay to laugh at this lady, in my opinion. I can't even help it, right? So this also, whoosh, mirror, gone. Towel rack, gone. Well, once those ladies bought that kitty litter, they just renovated the bathroom as well. Detectives asked Papini how her hair came to be cut. She told detectives that she did not know what led to her hair being cut. She believed it was in response to her making noise because she was moving and the cable affixed to the pole in the closet clanged. She stated that whenever she would make noise, they would rush in. She had a hard time remembering the day and eventually recalled that she thought she was trying to make the bed. I want to say I was smoothing out a blanket and the cable made that noise. Papini did not feel it was time for the trash can to be emptied on that day, and the bigger one came into her room, and Papini dropped to the floor on all fours. I can't not laugh at that. Smoothing over a blanket. I was busy smoothing over a blanket and just keeping the chain real still. And then the big one comes into the room, of which this is all imaginary, right? The big one enters the room and drop on all fours. Damn, okay. She had her hair pulled back. I'm sure she did. Already in what she believed was her original hair tie. The two women said something in Spanish to each other. Mamacita. Or what? What did she hear? The other one was outside the room. Papini said she was hit on the shoulder and then yanked backwards. And she felt like it happened really fast. I'm sure it did. After her abductor cut Papini's hair, she held it in her hand and stood over Papini. The woman told Papini, I'm going to send it to your mother. Papini did not know what was used to cut her hair. Gosh. This is the best one. Was this poll a scratch post? Yeah, the cop interviewing her must have been exhausted at this point. They hated noise but played loud mariachi music all day and night. All right. She makes it hard to feel empathy for her. She sure does. She sure does. Phew. Okay, so here we go. More of it. We're on page 18, by the way. SCS out of 55. So, SCSO detectives asked Papini about a blog post written by Sherri Graff. Many people in the Reading area speculated that Papini wrote this blog post, which was titled Keep Walking. The post appeared to have been written sometime in 2007. In this post, she detailed how she grew up in Shasta Lake, California, was a good athlete, was picked on in high school by a group of Latinos. The post stated, I used to come home in tears because I was getting suspended from school all the time for defending myself against the Latinos. Or were you bullying them? I don't know. The chief problem was that I was drug-free, white, and proud of my what? Proud of my blood and heritage. This really irked a group of Latina girls which would constantly rag and attack me. It might be the other way around though, right? The post detailed how Graff fought the girls and how it took 3 full-sized men to pull me off her. I broke her nose and split her eyebrow. The post goes on to explain why it was titled Keep Walking, because Graff's father told her how proud he was of her after the fight with the other girls, and that she kept walking with her when her shin was split open as a result of the fight. Graff concluded the post with, being white is more than just being aware of my skin, but of standing behind skinheads who are always around in spirit as well and having pride for my country. Ew, Sherri. Detectives told Papini it appeared the post was originally written on a MySpace page. When the detectives asked Papini if she had a MySpace account, she stated she didn't remember. She told detectives that prior to her kidnapping, she had hired an attorney to try and have the post removed. Like, no idea if that was me, but like, I did try to get an attorney, though, to get that removed. She said she believed someone else had written the post using the name Sherri Graff and described the post as awful. Mm hmm. I'm done. Right. Yeah, sounds more like you were talking out the side of your mouth and got your butt kicked. Mm hmm. I know, right? The cry, laughing so hard. This is too damn much for a Friday afternoon. It's too damn much for a Friday afternoon. All that bull spit. May says, I thought she was cute, but I guess I'm too dark for her. Lol. Well, let's read on. Oh my word, Sherri. Sherri Graff. I think that was her maiden name too, right? Papini's false statements to federal investigators. So on March 2nd, 2017, she conducted a forensic interview with a FBI forensic interviewer, which was recorded and transcribed in its entirety. This was the first interview conducted without her husband in the room. So 2017, right? She stated that she continued to fear law enforcement and told the interviewer, who was a female, that she did not trust her. Okay. Doesn't like females either. Right. Papini kept her head down and looked at the floor for the majority of the interview. At the beginning of the interviewer stated, I just ask everybody to tell me the truth, okay? The interviewer stated, I just ask everybody to tell me the truth. Okay. Papini responded, okay. In the interview, Papini provided the following information. On the day she was abducted, now it's round 3, she went out for a jog. She was able to recall that she was wearing black leggings, her black and white checkered Under Armour tennis shoes, and a Nike jogging hoodie with thumb holes. She said she left her house through the front door, well, when her hopes are right, and ran down the driveway. She explained that she ran in the same direction every time and that she was training for a 5K race. Papini was able to describe the route she took and the people she saw on her way, ending with a right turn onto Sunrise Drive. She described her first encounter with her abductors. When she was about midway in the dirt road between where Old Oregon Trail and Sunrise Drive ends, she saw a woman in a vehicle who was asking for help or signaling in some way. Then Papini took out an earbud and crossed the road to the left-hand side of the road, and the woman opened the door and pointed a gun at Papini. She squatted down on the grass. Damn, this lady will like just drop down on all fours or just squat down no matter what. Anytime, anytime. And the woman said something like, I don't want to hurt you. Papini set her phone down and then pulled her own hair out and squished it in the headphones, and then held her hands above her head. She described the vehicle her abductors were in as a dark color, either like a dark blue or black with a long window in the back. Papini also said there were 4 doors and the windows were tinted. She said that was about all that she could remember. Upon further prompting, she said that her abductor was wearing a hat and sunglasses and thought the hat was like light colored, like a gray baseball cap. She said she knew her alleged abductors were Hispanic because their skin color was Hispanic colored, dark colored skin. Okay, Sherri. Papini explained that when her abductor shouted at her, Papini took one earbud out but could not remember which earbud she had taken out. She was out of breath because it was the midpoint, of her run, and she had already run a mile and had started slowing her pace to walk up towards the grass. Papini described that the door of the SUV opened on the passenger side and she saw a woman holding a gun and described the gun as a short revolver. So first it was a little revolver, now it's a short revolver. Again, interesting. Yep, this one pop to squat. Anytime, anywhere. Mm-hmm. Smoke signals. So someone get us some knee pads. I know, right? I know. It's offensive, right? Pink Society. What the F is Hispanic color? As a Hispanic, that's so offensive. Everything she says is so offensive, especially when she talks about race, right? Oh my goodness. I would love to also know more about what she wrote on that MySpace blog of hers, huh? Mm, mm, mm. Okay. So, so now it was a little revolver, and now it's a short. revolver. What are you really describing there, lady? Papini squatted with her head down when she saw the gun. She explained the abductor told Papini to put down her phone and that they don't want to hurt me. She explained that she knew her family would find her phone and her intention was for her family to find her hair with her phone when they found her phone. Oh, yeah, because, they are forensic experts. Because Find My iPhone isn't enough to know it's her phone. No, wrap the hair in there because we're watching some, I don't know what. What kind of crime shows are you watching, lady? Yeah, put the hair in there. Okay. Right. So we carry on a little bit here. Later in the interview, Papini explained that there may have been times when her abductors were not covering their faces. She said, I don't know. They could have been, but I didn't look up. I was really scared. And the more I was on the ground or kept my head down, the less they would hurt me. Interesting narrative the whole way through, right? Whether she's chained to her scratching post, to the pole in the closet, or whether she's just in this moment being abducted in her story. It's like if she makes eye contact, she believes in getting punished or something. Papini could not remember her abductor getting out of the car. The next thing Papini remembered was that she was in the back of the car. She could not remember how the door of the car was open for her to get in or how she got into the car. Well, it sounds like the door was open for you to get in, right? What gentleman when your ex-boyfriend picked you up. Papini described how there was something over her head so she couldn't see and something bound her arms together behind her and her legs were also bent behind her. Damn. So she could move them a little and not a lot. Interesting. I know, right? Tea and wildflowers. This imagination of hers. Yeah, white privilege at its best. Surprised she wasn't abducted by aliens. Me too. Me too. Okay. So, her legs were bent behind her. Right, she couldn't move them a lot. Papini said she was on the floor of the vehicle facing the rear. She could hear the two women talking, but they spoke in Spanish, and Papini did not understand Spanish. The interviewer asked Papini to tell her what the abductor was saying, and she said, It's not English, it's Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. The interviewer asked Papini what the tone of the abductor's voices was. Papini responded, I don't know, they speak really fast. I would just say it was a normal volume. Papini could not see anything of the inside of the vehicle or out of the windows because she had something over her head. She said that as they were driving, she could feel turns and was nauseous. Or nauseous, however you want me to say it. Papini kept falling asleep, but it was like a yucky feeling kind of sleep. And the next thing Papini remembered was waking up in a room. She described waking up in a room on a bed. I'm sure she did. The bed was a plain mattress on the floor underneath a window. Papini's body was across the mattress, with her head towards the window and her feet hanging off the edge of the mattress. She stated her legs were no longer bound, but she had zip ties around her wrists. The room had a dresser in it along with the mattress, but nothing else. The next thing Papini remembered was breaking the zip ties off her wrists. There's zip ties together on my wrists. That's what this little scar is from. Arms are in front. Now the arms are in front. Remember, this is 3.0. The interviewer noted that Papini's zip-tied arms moved from being bound behind her to in front of her, but Papini could not explain how that happened. She went on to explain that she and husband had watched a YouTube video about how to break zip ties, and she tried the maneuver, but it didn't work. Instead, Papini bit them and just chewed the hell out of them, and then she broke them. The interviewer asked Papini about the clothing she had on when she woke up in the room. Papini said she was wearing a plain t-shirt and her original underwear. This original underwear is very important to her, huh? No socks and no bra. Those breasts were out, okay? Nothing like no socks, no bra. The original underwear, though. All right? Plain t-shirt. She said she didn't know what happened to her original clothing. She said after she got the zip tie off, she stood on the bed and jumped up to pull the board off the window, but there were also boards on the outside, so she could not see outside. She could not say whether the window could open. She was only able to get one board off before her abductors came into the room. When her abductors came into the room after she got the board off the window, she was pulled down from behind and was hit very hard. She described how she felt a burning feeling from her hair being pulled. Papini further described that she heard her abductors yelling as they came into the room. She couldn't remember where her body landed after her abductors pulled her hair down. She didn't see anything because all she saw was stars. Did you now? So you were like ripping boards off the wall. You got pulled down hard, real hard. And the next thing, all you saw was stars. It sounds interesting. The story's getting real interesting over here. 50 Shades of Crazy. She brought a whole new meaning. Did she watch a YouTube tutorial on how to use the cat litter too? Maybe. Stefan says, I will never forget the original underwear. Yeah, it landed where you landed. Does she land in the lap of her lover? Possibly. Possibly, huh? Okay, then. Carrying on. The very next thing Papini remembered was that she woke up in the room. The dresser was gone. Now the dresser's also gone. Remember with the bathroom? The mirror gone. Towel rack gone. So here she's being pulled down, lands hard, sees stars, falls asleep, wakes up, and then the next minute, wow, the dresser is gone. The mattress was now where the dresser had been before, and she had a chain around her waist. Papini said she did not think about who would have abducted her and why. Instead, she was thinking about how she was going to get away. The next thing that happened after she woke up with a chain around her waist was that the door opened and a plate with food, a plastic bottle of water was put in the room, and then the door shut. She described her abductors. The smaller one had dark, curly hair that's kind of short, so curly that if you didn't put product in there, it probably would be really frizzy, and was wearing brown shoes that looked like Guess knockoffs and blue jeans, had pierced ears and wore those big hoop earrings, and had thin, almost drawn in eyebrows. The bigger abductor had dark eyes, really thick eyebrows, and dark hair with strands of gray. Yeah, I think she's describing the ex boyfriend as the bigger one. What do you guys think? Yeah, renovation time. Hispanic ladies were remodeling in the lap of her love. Oh, me too, Inks. I truly hope this woman gets the mental help she needs. I mean, she was in therapy, but the problem was for PTSD for this kidnapping, which was all a hoax. That's the problem. She has to start again, you know? So after the 18 months in prison and then 36 months supervised, I really hope that she can get help then for what's actually going on here, right? Wow. Okay. So Papini went on to describe the food she was given, which was mostly grits or cream of wheat on a cheap paper plate with ridges on it. Well, yeah, normally paper plates in general look like that. She was not provided silverware, so she folded the plate and shoveled the food into her mouth. She said she got a lot of scraps, sometimes bread, crackers, and apple, leftovers from like meat and some rice, black beans, chunks of bread. The next thing Papini remembered was going to sleep. Papini said she was asleep for a very long time, waking every once in a while and feeling sick and dizzy. She said the first time her clothes were changed was after her first shower and went on to describe events that occurred when she was given her first shower. She explained that she was sitting on the bed in the room when her abductors came in to take her to the shower. They hit her on her head and hip, but she didn't know what they hit her with. The bigger one had her hair pulled back and a bandana around her face, and the littler one had on a lacy mask. Again, I feel like in this projection that she's got going on, that she's the little one and that the bigger one is her ex boyfriend in this imagination. So I think she's wearing the lacy mask, 50 Shades Grey style, and the bigger one had her hair pulled back and a bandana around her face. Okay, so interesting. And dragged her to the bathroom type thing, right? Both women had their guns and told Papini to not struggle or move. She later explained that the little one held a handgun that wasn't a revolver, and the bigger one had a different gun that she always had either in her hand or in her pants. You see what I'm saying? So the bigger one in this projection in her imagination, I think, is ex-boyfriend to some degree in her mind. So the bigger one had a different gun that was always either, let's just say it, like in his hand or in his pants. Yeah, that sounds accurate, right? So in her hand or in her pants. The abductors unlocked the chain and brought Papini around the corner to a bathroom with water running. The little one stood at the door while the bigger one went back and forth in and out of the room. Did they now? Papini took her clothes off except her underwear and used a coconut scented body wash that the bigger one threw at her to wash herself and her clothes. Oh, I see. She described the bathroom as being a small bathroom with a sink on the left, a towel rack on the right, until, of course, they removed it, and a combined shower and tub with a cheap metal spigot, is that how we say that? Gray floor tiles and brown wall tiles. Damn, what a bathroom. Gray floor tiles and brown wall tiles, and a crack in the shower tile. Papini says she tried to get her abductors to talk to her while she was in the shower and asked her abductors, "Where am I? Why am I here?" But they did not respond to her. The little one had a really thick accent and said, "We sell you." The bigger one told Papini, "Your buyer is a cop." And then, when the abductors were talking to each other, the big one said something to the little one and she turned her body and lowered her gun. At which point, Papini jumped on her and shoved her face on the toilet. Okay. Papini explained that it was slippery and she slipped and cut her foot on the stupid side of the cabinet. Then the big one came in and dragged Papini back into the bedroom by her hair and shoved a bitter liquid down Papini's throat until she was choking and gagging. Really? Oh, really? That's an interesting one. I just cannot. I with her ex and her saying this was not a sexual thing. I don't know. I don't buy it, man. Stupid cabinet. Jackie's like stupid cabinet. Stupid cabinet. Yeah, exactly. I thought her hair was cut. Clearly, that only happened later. Oh no, you guys. One more time. The big one came in and dragged Papini back into the bedroom by her hair and shoved a bitter liquid down Papini's throat while she was choking and gagging. Papini explained that then the abductors hit her, locked her back up, and left the room. Papini put on clothes that had been laid out on the bed and laid her underwear out to dry. Oh, so there the underwear is off, laying it out to dry? Is this the time when the adult diaper? You put that on now? And when they say put on the clothes that have been laid out on the bed, do you mean the adult diaper and the plain t-shirt? Oh man, this is so crazy. Papini described the closet, chain, and pole. There's two doors that open outward, two shelves, and a really weird metal pole that looked like a large screw that went through both shelves, which was what the cable was attached to. Papini said she liked being in the closet because it was warm. And when the closet doors were shut, the chain hooked on the pole did not make any noise that would alert her abductors, so she was free to move and exercise. Now you're moving and exercising in the closet? She liked being in the closet because it was warm, and when the closet doors were shut, the chain hooked on the pole did not make any noise that would alert her abductors, so she was free to move and exercise. Okay. She explained that although she was sore and hurt all the time, she needed to stay alert and wanted to stay strong, so she would do yoga and would move and stretch her legs. Also, if Papini was outside of the closet, she would tuck the cable under her thigh and lift her other leg. Okay. Papini also described how, while she was in the closet, she took a screw and was trying to chip away at the drywall. Ah, okay. Right. Shawshank Redemption. She thought that if she could use the screw to chip at the drywall, she might be able to escape. Exercising in the closet. It's a walk-in closet. Cheryl says histrionic personality disorder like Amber Heard. She's totally delusional. Poor family. OMG. You are the best, by the way. We South Africans love details. We sure do, right? Oh, yes. The Narnia closet. Exactly, Miss Dewey. I bet she took a screw. Mm-hmm. Escape the closet. I also need a closet I can do yoga in. Me too. I also want a closet I can do yoga in. She sounds like the most annoying hostage ever. Oh my gosh. Right, I have no problem laughing at convicted felons who, by the way, of their own stupidity, got busted. Yeah, did she ever take the screw from the big one? Original underwear. Yeah, yoga closets for all grizzlies. You get a yoga closet. You get a yoga closet. Everybody gets a yoga closet. And if you're lucky, you might even get a screw that you could try to escape that closet with. Hmm? Yeah? Papini described how her abductor's behavior changed during the time that she was in captivity and said the little one changed a lot, but the big one was always mean and cruel. Was he now master? Was he the master? You know what I mean? The master? He was always mean and cruel. Papini said the little one would pull the big one off her sometimes when the big one was beating Papini. Okay. And the big one would hit the little one. Sure. Papini explained that she did not know Spanish, but she felt like the little one was protective. Papini suggested to the little one that she line the trash can with a plastic bag and put the kitty litter in it. Sorry, messed that one up because I just want to say it like that. I put the kitty litter in it. And the little one did what Papini suggested. When the interviewer asked Papini if it was a bucket or a trash can, Papini responded, "It's a bucket. Trash can. I mean, it's a bathroom. It's like a little cylindrical latrine. It was gray. It had ridges on the outside." Oh, get a bucket and a mop. That's a whap. That's a whap. Am I right? Papini described what happened when she was branded on her back. Papini said the woman brought a table into her room while she was on the bed. She described the table as heavy and it made a loud thunk when the woman set it down. The table was short to the ground and had a marble design, but the marble design was peeling, so obviously it was a fake because Papini could see the brown wood underneath, the marble like laminate. The woman put Papini on the table with the chain still around her waist, with the cable attached. Her wrists were wrapped around the front of the table as if hugging it, and her legs were not all the way on the table, with both her hands and legs tied to the table. Papini believed it was both women who put her on the table. Papini was wearing a t-shirt. Oh man, here we go again. She was wearing a t-shirt, and one of the two women, she wasn't sure which one, cut the t-shirt up the back. The two women were talking to each other in Spanish, and Papini looked away and closed her eyes. The little one was sitting to Papini's right and slightly behind her, while the big one left the room and then came back and set something down. Papini was putting all her weight on her chest, which hurt because of her breast implants. Papini said she was dizzy and nauseous. I mean, these damn things are just in the way. Oh, gosh. Amy P's like, loca. Loca. Yes. Okay. She was putting all her weight on her chest, which hurt because of her breast implants. She was dizzy and nauseous. She kept moving and was hit every time she moved. She said the branding tool made this awful popping noise when it was put to her skin. Papini said it was hard to describe the feeling she felt when she was being branded. She was scared of saying anything, and she did not want to make a noise. She could not turn her head to see what the woman used to brand her, and she kept her eyes closed. Did you see stars again, maybe? Once the woman were finished branding her, Papini said, she untied me, the little one, and then kicked me off the table. The little one dragged the table out. The big one stood there, and then she walked out. Papini still had her shirt on, but it was cut up the back. She fell asleep. When she woke up, there was another shirt for her to put on, and the one that had been cut was gone. Damn. Papini said her hair was cut towards the beginning of her captivity. So all this hair pulling and all that, oh, damn. She was making noise, and the big one came in and grabbed Papini and pulled her hair back. The little one stood at the door. The big one told Papini, "They're not looking for you. They're not going to find you," and told Papini she was going to send her hair to Papini's mother. Papini did not know what was used to cut her hair. She explained that she felt really bad and reasoned that her abductors did not know her because otherwise they wouldn't send her hair to her mother, but would send it to her husband. Weird, right? At the very end, the extra large one frees her. The end, I know, right? Stefan, I always fall asleep after a good branding. Oh, man. Yeah, she's had quite the variety of bathrooms. Yeah, this was her police statement. Yes, they must have been sitting there like, what? Oh, man. Okay. In Papini's prior interviews with law enforcement, she discussed that her abductors read her articles and told her that nobody believed her and that law enforcement was involved in her abduction. When asked about this, Papini stated that her abductors did not read her any articles or show her any news coverage, but instead told her while cutting her hair. They read your articles while cutting your hair? Wow. Okay. Damn. Next time I go to the hairdresser, even though I cut my own hair, next time I go, I'll be like, read me articles while you cut their hair. No one's going to find you. They don't believe you. They think you just ran away. The police are not looking for you. Oh, yeah, right. It was like friggin' national news. When asked if she was worried nobody was going to believe her, Papini responded, "I was worried no one was going to find me." Papini described what happened on the day of her return. She was in her room, was on the bed, wearing sweatpants, a sweatshirt, her original underwear, and socks. Original underwear, okay, that she'd washed twice. Then she heard a gunshot and she got really scared, saying, "I think I peed my pants actually." Did you? She said she got really scared and stayed in the closet. I thought you were just on the bed. She was in her room and on the bed, and then she says, "I just stayed in the closet." Got really scared and just stayed in the closet. She heard shuffling and the sound of keys being grabbed off a table, but nothing else. And then she heard the music. Papini said she yanked on things and screamed until she fell asleep in the closet. Then the little one came in and put food in the room. Papini ate the food and then felt dizzy, nauseous, and yucky. Papini thought, I just imagine her saying yucky, and then I felt yucky. She thought she felt bad because she wasn't eating or drinking much. I thought it's all the exercising in the closet, right? The dizziness and nausea would happen whenever she would either sit up or stand. The next thing Papini remembered was that she fell asleep. The little one came back into Papini's room and woke her up by hitting her in the face. Papini did not know what she was hit with, but her nose was bleeding, although it wasn't that much. The woman walked out of the room and the door was still open. There were clothes on the bed, and it seemed like she was instructing Papini, so Papini put the clothes on. Then the woman hit Papini again, put something on her head, and unlocked the cable. Papini started walking and stubbed her toe. Again? Damn cabinet! Papini did not remember if there were any restraints on her hands or feet. She was placed in a vehicle. She did not know if it was the same vehicle or a different vehicle as the vehicle from the day of her abduction because she could not see the vehicle due to the covering over her head. She described the vehicle as smelling different, that it smelled like sewage and dirt. You see, the stories are switched around now. Initially, the 1.0 story, sewage and dirt on the way out, smelling like laundry detergent later, actually all on the way back, and then it was laundry detergent. Now it smells like sewage when she's going back. Interesting. Papini was on the floor of the vehicle with her hands behind her, bound with something metal that was very sharp. She did not hear any voices in the car, only the radio. She kept trying to count the songs, but she fell asleep. And then she felt the car stop and she started crying. The little one instructed Papini out. Papini remembered hearing 3 clipping sounds, and the restraints on her wrists and ankles were cut. She fell out of the car, and the car drove away. She pulled off whatever was over her head and after the car. Oh no, it's like abandonment issues kicking in here. Yeah, she's one sleepy captive, right? She's literally always falling asleep. Every time it should be like an adrenaline situation. She's falling asleep. Yeah, there I was laying in the bed and they hit me and I said, Hispanics, you just hit me. Man. Yeah. Did she Shazam on any of the songs for the replay later? I wish. I know, right? Dizziness when she stood, but managed to do closet yoga. What a hero. It's disturbing how easily Sherri can sleep during a kidnapping. I know, right? Yeah, she's literally catnapping. Wow. Exactly. And my dog stepped on a bee. It's like that. Yeah, she sleeps and eats a lot. What's up, Son and Kind 31? Yeah, you forgot me and being branded. I know, right? Why is nobody advocating for this woman? She must have an OnlyFans. No? Lol, pathetic. Gosh. Okay, so she pulled. Okay, so she ran after the car. So that's interesting, right? She didn't know why she ran after the car, but explained, I didn't want her to leave me. Oh, we know why you ran after the car. Your ex boyfriend, you're like, don't leave me. He's like dropping her off at this point. Papini could not provide any details of where she was dropped off in relation to where she was found, only that it was an agricultural road. The interviewer asked Papini if Papini had any questions, and Papini asked, did they figure out what it says on my back? Referencing the branding on her back. The interviewer asked Papini if she had looked at it to see what it says, and she responded, it's really hard to see. I have to look at a picture to look at it. The interviewer asked Papini what she thought it was and or what it said, and Papini responded, I think it says Exodus, but I can't read the numbers. The interviewer asked Papini if she had any idea what any meaning might be for the brand. She responded, no, I read it, but it's a really confusing Bible passage. It's like a really weird part of the Bible. It doesn't make any sense. Interesting. On March 31st, 2017, the husband contacted the FBI and provided the following information. Papini told husband that the room in which she was kept had paneling similar to bead board on the bottom half of the wall and drywall on the top half. Papini described the carpet as orange colored and shaggy. Husband provided photos of the drawings he made with Papini of the room and the device used to chain Papini to a pole in the closet in the room. On June 5th, 2017, the husband contacted the FBI and provided the following information. Husband and Papini recently traveled north to Ashland and Medford, Oregon. Papini had no problem driving north and did not react negatively. While in Oregon, they went to a Dick's Sporting Goods store. While in the gun section of the store, Papini was fine until she saw the display of revolvers. When she saw the revolver, she shut down and got scared. Papini pointed at a black Ruger revolver and said, that's what it looks like. The husband informed the agents that Papini wanted to sit down and with a sketch artist. Husband stated that Papini was seeing a plastic surgeon to have the burns on her arm repaired with laser treatments. And what else was he doing? During one of the treatments, Papini smelled the burned hair from the laser and shut down, and the treatment had to be stopped. Wow. So now she probably read up on, I don't know, it feels like, is it really PTSD? I know, right? Shaggy. Wasn't me. Wow. On June 8th, 2017, Papini met with FBI agents to review a photo array. In that meeting, Papini told the agents that the older woman who took her had bushy, thick eyebrows, and the younger woman had curly hair and thin eyebrows that had been over tweezed. Neither woman had a widow's peak. On June 27, 2017, Papini met with an FBI sketch artist to create the renderings of the two Hispanic females who abducted her. Have you guys seen those pictures? Oh my word. During that meeting, Papini described the older woman as approximately 2 to 3 inches taller than Papini, with long, smooth hair that she kept in either a braid or a ponytail that would hit Papini in the head whenever the woman leaned over her. Really? She also said the older woman had fat hands and fingers with smooth skin and had coffee breath all of the time and smelled like she drank sweetened coffee. Did he now? Papini described the younger female as having coarse, curly hair with no bangs. She said the younger female was shorter, with a muscular build and wider in her hip area. Not thin, but not overweight. Papini told the FBI sketch artist that the younger abductor wore large hoop earrings and had hairy arms. Both females were clean and smelt of detergent. Okay. She provided the sketch artist with reference photos she had printed from the internet to show the skin condition of the older abductor and provided reference of facial features and mask placement for both abductors. Papini told the FBI sketch artist that both abductors wore masks when they interacted with her. As such, the sketch artist left the bottom half of the abductors' faces undrawn and provided Papini with mask examples in the sketches. Have you guys seen it? Let me just do this quickly. I know I'm very small in the corner here. Just hold on one second. Sherri, Papini. Let's do this. Look at this. These are the sketches. There you go. Oh, yes. That's what she was describing right here. Maybe branded with an emoji face. Caroline, I know them. So, yeah, the poor sketch artist that actually had to draw this and listen to that crap that she was talking. Wow. Right? Okay. So let's skim this a little bit. The sketch artist we just saw, this is all about the sketches, right? On August 14th, the husband contacted FBI agents, provided the following information. Husband and Papini were recently talking about events that occurred during Papini's captivity. Papini described being bound to a black coffee table with a granite veneer or laminate top that was cracked in the top right corner. Is this woman being chained to everything? She was bound lying face down on top of the table and then was branded. I'm sure she was. Husband did a Google image search and found a picture of a table that Papini said was like the table she was on. The husband provided this picture to FBI agents. On October 26, 2017, the husband and Papini met with FBI agents. Based on the tips received by the FBI following the release of the sketches, FBI agents showed Papini 2 mugshots of 2 different women and 5 Facebook photos of a third woman. Papini did not identify the woman in the mugshots. They should have put the ex-boyfriend's picture there at that point. Not that they knew, but you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, this one. Though Papini could not positively identify the third woman from the Facebook photos, she stated that the woman's eyebrows were like the ones of the younger female captor. She provided additional information regarding her captivity. In the beginning, while Papini was taking her first shower, she begged the younger woman to let her go, and the older woman walked past, holding something in her hands and making a hissing sound. Here, kitty, kitty. It is like a kitty, right? Yeah, her husband found the same table online. Come on, Sherri. Wow, she really likes the kitty thing, huh? She really does need a scratching post, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I think the alleged kidnappers had PTSD after this. She definitely listened to one too many erotica audiobooks. While being slapped with the ponytail of the fat one. She said it. Yeah, hiss. A hissing sound. Wow. Catcalling. The younger woman said, "We sell you, and buyer is cop." Papini stated that this was the only time a cop was mentioned. While Papini was using the shower, she heard the older woman use the Spanish word. How do we say that, guys? Metate. During that first shower, Papini fought with the younger woman. Papini cut herself on something in the bathroom and had a lot of cuts at the time. Also, during the sorry if that was triggering for anyone. Also, during the fight, Papini saw a pointy canine. Eh? A pointy canine through the younger woman's mask. She's really obsessed with cats, man. Now this one's got a pointy canine, sharp teeth. When Papini was tied to the coffee table being branded, she heard the following Spanish words being spoken by the older Hispanic woman. Deja, puta, mira, friolenta. The older woman said the word friolenta directly to Papini in a derogatory manner, showing disgust towards Papini, but the younger Hispanic female did not show disgust. During the branding, Papini yelled out and was hit. The older Hispanic female was touching Papini's body with her fingers. I'm sure she was. Mm. Additionally, Papini discussed her November 2016 text conversation with Man One about meeting together and explained that the text regarding having an additional plan was about making another dinner plan with her friend so Papini could get out of the house to meet Man One without suspicion from her husband. On November 8th, 2017, so it's like a year later, right? Papini met with FBI agents to review a photo array of possible subjects. Again, if we just go over this, she could not positively identify anybody. So we're on page 30 over here. I'm just going on a little bit. You guys are so funny, oh my word. Angela says, I know my neighbors must think I've lost it. I'm here laughing and crying out loud. Wow. She was saying fake boobs in Spanish as she squeezed them. She should have just said that in English, right? That's what they were saying to me. Okay. So let's just look at this. So, okay, on March 16, 2018, wow, Papini contacted FBI agents and stated that during a session with her therapist, she recalled additional information. She came to believe the burns on her arms were made with heated up kitchen utensils, such as the back end of a butter knife or spoon. She had silverware at home that matched the scars on her arms. She was asked to provide pictures, but could not at the time, as she and her husband were preparing to take a trip to a hunting cabin out by Platina, California, where there would be no cell reception. So, can you please provide pictures of these utensils? No. Actually, we're busy packing. We're going to a hunting cabin. Thanks, though. I'll contact the FBI and just tell them, oh, yeah, this is what I discovered in therapy. The other day in therapy, I found out that these burns were made from utensils from my own kitchen. They're like, can you show us pictures? Nope. We're going to a hunting cabin. On March 21st, 2018, Papini sent FBI agents a text with a photo of a spoon. In the text message, Papini stated, I don't recall seeing anything other than the shine. Huh? But now that we look closer, you can see the first spot she touched it to my skin when I jerked away, and that it appears to be drag marks. The second, when I flinched, and the deep mark when she held my arm and pressed it in and held it there. On May 7th, 2018, husband contacted FBI agents and stated that during a therapy session, Papini remembered that one of the women holding Papini captive tried to pour a sticky substance down her mouth. Papini wiped her mouth off with her underwear, leaving a sticky substance on the underwear, and then fell asleep. Oh, is that how the DNA got there on the original underwear? Huh? You cannot make this up. Wow. One more time. Because remember the original underwear that they cut into little pieces? Oh, it had the DNA on of some other male. They had to literally dig through his trash to put that DNA into their system, which was on his iced tea bottle. That's how they matched it up eventually. Did it actually say that? Did it actually say that? Yes. But is she still wearing is she still wearing her original underwear? That is the question. Yeah, exactly. Bow chicka wow wow. I mean, literally. If I wasn't here listening, I wouldn't believe it. I know, right? Says Tara. So, one more time. On May 17th, now, how did this DNA get on her original underwear? What is this unknown male's DNA doing there? So, if we just listen to the captor story, of which it all has some truth in it for damn sure. The husband contacted FBI agents and said during a therapy, her poor therapist, oh my word, Papini remembered that one of the women holding Papini captive tried to pour some kind of sticky liquid, a substance, down her mouth. And she wiped her mouth off with her underwear, leaving a sticky substance on the underwear, and then fell asleep. As you guys say, she just falls asleep the whole time. Here they say the FBI's discovery that Papini had actually been with a former boyfriend. This is good. On September 26, 2019, oh my word, SCSO detectives submitted a letter to CADOJ, BFS requesting a familial DNA search for the unknown male DNA contributor. Yes, identified on Papini's underwear. The original souvenir underwear. On March 19, 2020, they voted to release the familial search result to provide analytical assistance in an effort to identify the unknown male DNA. On March 19, 2020, the CADOJ BFS Reading Laboratory received an email identifying person 2 as a potential relative of the unknown male DNA contributor identified in Papini's clothing. Person 2 had 2 living biological sons, one of whom was ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend. An investigation into ex-boyfriend revealed that he was briefly associated with an address owned by Papini's parents. Additionally, the investigation revealed that ex-boyfriend and Papini were joint subscribers to an American online AOL email account, and also that ex-boyfriend and Papini had conducted historical financial transactions together. Oh, maybe it was their plan for the money. In July 2020, FBI special agents reviewed ex-boyfriend's brother's social media pages and identified a table similar in appearance to the table that Papini described to law enforcement in August 2017 as the table that her abductors strapped her to and branded her on. On June 9th, 2020, FBI special agents collected discarded items from the trash can outside of ex-boyfriend's residence in Costa Mesa, including a discarded Honest Honey green tea bottle. These items were provided to the CADOJ BFS Reading Laboratory for analysis. On July 10th, 2020, they concluded that the DNA obtained from the mouth area of the Honest Honey green tea bottle matched the unknown male DNA collected from Papini's clothing. They should have said original underwear. On August 10th, 2020, investigators interviewed ex-boyfriend and he told them the following. Ex-boyfriend admitted to investigators that he helped Papini run away. Ex-boyfriend explained that Papini was a good friend and that she had asked him for help. Papini told him that her husband was beating and essaying her and she was trying to escape, like this woman and her fantasies. Papini told ex-boyfriend that she had filed police reports, but the police were not doing anything to stop her husband's abuse. Ex-boyfriend said she had something planned up and he was trying to help her get away from her husband and be a good friend. Oh, he sounds like he was a great friend, right? Ex-boyfriend and Papini had known each other since they were 13 or 14 years old and had a long history together, just as friends. Yeah. The two also, had a romantic relationship and had previously been engaged. My. Ex-boyfriend told investigators that Papini reached out to him out of the blue and that they had not spoken in a long time because, she got married and had kids. Liar. Ex-boyfriend estimated that sometime in 2015, he was cleaning his house and came across a box of old photos and personal items that belonged to Papini from when they were in a relationship together. I wonder if that's the original underwear. Ex-boyfriend sent the box of Papini's personal items to Papini's parents and then called her parents to let them know the box was coming. Ex-boyfriend did not know if he's sending Papini's personal items back to her parents was what prompted Papini to reach out to him. Obviously, she doesn't want to be abandoned, right? When Papini first called ex-boyfriend, he was at work. Papini told ex-boyfriend she had a plan to run away with him and that she had been saving some of her cash and planned to send some money to ex-boyfriend for her to have when she was with him. Ex-boyfriend stated she kind of laid out the situation. Papini did not get into a lot of detail, and the call was brief because ex-boyfriend was at work. I like how they just call him ex-boyfriend. I know, right? A new underwear line. Original underwear has a nice ring to it. Of course, I get asked to brand my friends all the time. Totes, normal stuff. Friends help you stage your own kidnapping. The ex-boyfriend wasn't charged, right? Helping in kidnap, abuse, branding, sex, and no charges. From what I know, no charges. If you guys found something else, I still want to dig into all of that too. Someone find the OG undies. The crown jewels have been devalued because they are all for show. But OG undies at auction might be your ticket to win it. Well, now it's all cut up, right? Damn it. Yeah, remember when she was kidnapped? I know, to put your kids through this. She had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old at the time. That's what's so disgusting to me about this. Like, come on. What about your kids? You're a mom. Ah, man. Okay. So Papini told ex-boyfriend to get a prepaid phone to communicate with her. Initially, Papini and ex-boyfriend called each other on their regular phones, but eventually they began to communicate on prepaid phones that were not attributable to either of them. Papini devised a plan for ex-boyfriend to drive to Reading, and ex-boyfriend agreed. Ex-boyfriend admitted to investigators that there could have been a better plan and said the planning process was not very long. Investigators asked ex-boyfriend if there were any females involved in helping Papini escape, and ex-boyfriend said no. Investigators asked ex-boyfriend if he had seen the sketches of the woman who allegedly abducted Papini. And ex-boyfriend responded, yeah, no, I don't know any Mexican girls. Ex-boyfriend initially could not recall how he knew where to pick up Papini. Later in the interview, ex-boyfriend recalled that Papini sent him a care package. Did it have chains in it or what? Kitty litter? That included the location where she wanted him to pick her up. Oh boy, imagine what was in the care package. There were probably photos and everything. She probably had the augmentation and everything in preparation for this, right? This guy must be the most best friend ever to just be like, hey man, I think I want a fake kidnapping. Okay, no questions asked. Wow. Imagine what was in this care package. Oh no. Okay, in the summer of 2016, ex-boyfriend and Papini had been talking. An ex-boyfriend let Papini know he was in the hospital. Papini sent a care package to ex-boyfriend's residence after he had been home from the hospital for a while. Included in the care package was a piece of paper with the location. Papini wanted ex-boyfriend to pick her up. Ex-boyfriend thought he must have Googled the location to get an idea of where to go. Yeah, don't say. He did some map timer. Ex-boyfriend asked a friend, person 3, to rent a car for him to use, but did not explain why he needed the car. On October 31st, 2016, person 3 rented a dark-colored Dodge Challenger for ex-boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend did not specify what kind of car person 3 should rent, but did not expect person 3 to rent a sports car. Ex-boyfriend told investigators that on November 2nd, 2016, he got up early in the morning and drove the rented Dodge Challenger from Southern California to Redding, California. When ex-boyfriend got to Reading, he went to Trader Joe's and bought some stuff and ate breakfast. Did you buy some coconut body wash or what? Kitty litter? This is what you'll buy, okay? Kitty litter, coconut body wash, chains. I don't know if you get that. Probably not at Trader Joe's, right? What else? Apples, tortillas. He stopped at Starbucks and waited to hear from Papini about where he should drive to meet her. Ex-boyfriend believed Papini communicated with him on his prepaid phone using a prepaid phone she already had. Papini sent ex-boyfriend a text message detailing where she wanted ex-boyfriend to pick her up. Ex-boyfriend recalled he picked Papini up on a street called Old Something just outside of Reading. Ex-boyfriend described that he was driving up the road. Papini was walking down the road. Ex-boyfriend pulled up to Papini, opened the passenger side door of the vehicle, and folded the front seat down so that Papini could get into the back seat. Oh, was that the hump going up? I see now. Okay. Papini was wearing athletic clothes when ex-boyfriend picked her up. She'd been jogging and was all sweaty. Papini got into the vehicle and laid down in the back seat. Ex-boyfriend drove straight back to Southern California, stopping only a few times for gas and coffee. Oh, so there were pit stops, were there? It's not even such a long drive, but okay. It's long enough. Gas and coffee. Papini stayed in the back seat of the vehicle the entire length of the trip. Well, she was full kidnap mode, right? Ex-boyfriend and Papini did not talk much during the drive back to down to Costa Mesa. Ex-boyfriend recalled that Papini was worried about her kids and was having a hard time with that, but otherwise the ride was fairly quiet. Well, one would hope so, right? She just ditched her kids. She left them at daycare. Yeah, oh, the hump. Coconut body wash will remind me of this bizarre story from here on out. Coconut body wash, apples, and original underwear. And kitty litter. Oh man, every time I'm going to have to buy the kitty litter, I'm going to think of this story. If it comes out she sent ex-boyfriend to Hobby Lobby to buy a branded kit, I will lose my mind. But she did, didn't she? Here we go. We're getting to it. Hang in there, everyone. I know we've been here for 2 hours, but just hang in there. Ex-boyfriend and Papini did not talk much. Okay, so wait. Ex-boyfriend recalled that Papini took a nap and slept for most of the drive. During the period of her disappearance, Papini never left ex-boyfriend's residence. Papini asked ex-boyfriend to pick up clothes for her to wear. Ex-boyfriend purchased sweats, socks, and t-shirts from Target, TJ Maxx, or Ross, wherever he was closest to on his way home from work. Ex-boyfriend said he did not buy much clothing for Papini and bought grays, darks, basics, whatever they had. Ex-boyfriend continued to go to work every day while Papini stayed at the residence. Ex-boyfriend slept on the couch in the living room and Papini had her own room. Ex-boyfriend lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and Papini selected the room that she wanted to stay in. Ex-boyfriend believed that Papini purposely selected the room with less exposure. Ex-boyfriend told investigators that it might sound bland, but they really just talked, hung out, and ate food, and it didn't go anywhere. Papini cleaned the house a couple of times and did whatever she thought she needed, and that she was feeling for herself, She was feeling for herself, She was in her own thing. Papini had a lot of private time and just wanted to be in the room with the door shut. Yeah, right. Ex-boyfriend was not there most of the time. I don't believe any of that. The closet of the room ex-boyfriend described as Papini's room looked very similar to the closet Papini described in her previous interviews with law enforcement and included a pole, as described by Papini. During the interview with ex-boyfriend, investigators asked him if Papini did anything with the window in the room she stayed in at his house. He told investigators there were boards over the window, so she couldn't see. There was no light coming in. She wanted it to be dark. They simulated this whole thing. Ex-boyfriend said he put the boards over the windows because Papini asked him to and stated, "She asked me if there's a way to seal the window up." Ex-boyfriend described the wood he used to cover the windows as 3 sheets of particle board or press board. Ex-boyfriend showed investigators that there was no other reason to board up the window because no neighbors or people from the outside could see into the window. Papini had stayed with ex-boyfriend for a couple of days when she asked him to put the boards over the window. She had to escalate this whole kidnapping thing. Am I right? Yeah, she wanted it to be as real as possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sexy time. Angela Bloom, Trader Joe's shopping list. Cream of wheat, diapers. Don't forget the diapers. True that. Okay, and then closet yoga, a dance pole. What was the problem again? Yeah, she was getting into character. That's the thing. I think this was a total fantasy for her. Seriously. Here they say when Papini was interviewed on November 28, 2016, she stated that the cable was affixed to a pole that went into the ceiling and described the pole as a big screw. This matched the pole in the closet of the room Papini stayed in at the ex-boyfriend's residence. Wow. Papini described a window in the room that she was held captive in as it being covered with boards, and we just saw now it was. Because she asked him to. Ex-boyfriend believed Papini was purposefully trying to lose weight while she was staying with him. Papini ate whatever ex-boyfriend bought, but would eat small portions. Ex-boyfriend stated she was not eating as much as she would just minimize what she was eating. Both ex-boyfriend and Papini made food for them to eat, but Papini would, for example, eat half of a banana instead of a whole banana. Ex-boyfriend said that Papini was already tiny, but she wanted to lose weight, and he did not question her on it. Investigators asked ex-boyfriend what happened with Papini's hair. Ex-boyfriend told them that she chopped that. Ex-boyfriend came home from work one day and Papini had cut her hair. Ex-boyfriend could not remember what Papini did with the hair that she cut off and did not know if she had thrown it in the trash. Ex-boyfriend recalled that Papini cut her hair within a few days of coming to stay with him. He believed that cutting her hair was one of the first things Papini did while she was staying with him. He knew about the injuries Papini had when she was discovered. He explained that Papini created the injuries while staying with him, including hitting herself to create bruises and burning herself on her arms. He said that he helped her create some of the injuries, although he never laid his hands directly on her. For example, she told him, "Bank a puck off my leg." So he shot a puck off her leg, lightly. Ex-boyfriend did not help Papini burn her arm and said, "That was self-inflicted. I didn't burn anything on her arm there." Ex-boyfriend admitted to investigators he was confused by Papini injuring herself and stated, "There's not too many people that come up and say, 'Hurt me.' I'm not physical ever with women. I mean, I just don't." Oh, okay. I'm not saying he does like a DV way. It's just like this whole thing she's got going on. He's like, "I just don't. Unless it's freaking BDSM style, right?" Psh, whole different category, right? This guy. "I'm a good guy, I would never." But she's gonna go on all fours no matter what. When you enter that room, when you come home from work, she's on all fours already. I think the FBI scared the crap out of him. What made the ex-boyfriend crack and come forward? DNA. Yeah. Can you see the ex-boyfriend shopping for all this? Excuse me, miss. Can you tell me where I could buy the coconut soap and then a branding kit? It's not what it looks like, I promise. Or is it? Wow. Okay. So here they say ex-boyfriend admitted to investigators he was confused by her injuring herself, as we say. And Papini did not start creating injuries on herself until close to the time that she was deciding to leave ex-boyfriend and go back home. Interesting wording, he said there. Ex-boyfriend believed Papini had initially planned to stay with him for a longer period of time. Ex-boyfriend described to investigators how Papini asked him to brand her. Papini told ex-boyfriend to purchase a wood-burning tool from Hobby Lobby. There you go. The nearest Hobby Lobby was in the nearest Hobby Lobby was in Huntington Beach, so ex-boyfriend drove to the Hobby Lobby in Huntington Beach and bought the tool. By this time, Papini was aware of the news stories about her disappearance and did not want people to see her. Ex-boyfriend clarified that he and Papini did not watch television because he did not have a television at the time, but Papini had a cell phone that she used to read the news. So even though she dropped the one cell phone there on the ground with her hair strands and everything, she actually had the burner phone with her and she used that to read the news. And this whole thing of the TV blaring, all this music, all made up, right? Papini did not go with ex-boyfriend to Hobby Lobby because she never left the house during the time that she stayed with him. Ex-boyfriend told investigators he used cash to purchase the wood-burning tool. Ex-boyfriend described the wood-burning tool as a small plug-in tool similar to the size of an electric toothbrush. The letters snapped into the top of it, and the rod heated up like a soldering iron. Ex-boyfriend believed the letters were made of brass. When ex-boyfriend returned with a wood-burning tool, he and Papini sat on the floor next to an electrical outlet so they could plug the tool into the outlet. Ex-boyfriend sat behind Papini, and Papini pulled her shirt up so that ex-boyfriend could use the tool and make the brand. Papini told ex-boyfriend the phrase that she wanted burned onto his skin. Ex-boyfriend couldn't remember the phrase, but it had meaning to Papini. Ex-boyfriend recalled that he branded Papini's right shoulder using the wood-burning tool. Ex-boyfriend recalled it was Papini's right shoulder because he was left-handed and he used his right hand to hold Papini's right arm and rested his left hand on her back so as to hold the tool steady. Ex-boyfriend said he was nervous and wanted to hold steady while doing the brand because the tool was so hot that it glowed red. Smell like chicken? Yeah, ex-boyfriend's a real character, isn't he? Are you adding to the shopping list? Hockey pucks, dance poles, Hobby Lobby. We need a bingo card. Burn me, baby! Using a Bible verse that nobody understands, though. Yeah, this chick is wild. Yeah, where the two ladies at? They're not there. Oh man, it's quite something, especially after hearing her first story, her second story, and the third story, and now we hear what ex-boyfriend says. I'm just having the best time here with you guys. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, so ex-boyfriend said he was nervous, right? Wanted to hold it steady. It was glowing hot. Remember, she was like, I don't know, it just wasn't something that was like glowing hot. Yeah, it was. Ex-boyfriend wanted to do a good job and make the brand straight, but knew it must be painful and did not want to hold the hot brand on Papini's skin for too long. Ex-boyfriend was worried the branded area would get infected because that would be hot, right? But Papini never really complained about the pain. Ex-boyfriend believed he purchased some burn cream for Papini to use on her brand and burn wounds. Aw. Add that to the list. We need to make a little shopping list here, guys. Right? We need this little... we need a little list over here. And it would go something like, okay, so we go like coconut body wash. Okay, coconut body wash. Diapers. Kitty litter. Don't worry about underwear. Original underwear will be staying. So Sweats, you know. No socks, though. No socks. That's gross. No socks. Apples. hmm What else we got, guys? Lace masks. There you go. Lace masks as well. Did I write that? I wrote diapers. Oh, the ridged paper plates. Let's not forget that. Ridged paper plates. Imagine going to the store and trying to buy all this. Half a banana. So only buy like 2 bananas. It'll last quite a while, right? Burnt cream. A scratching post. Scratch post and catnip. For the meow. The mariachi parrot as well. True. A bucket. Let's not forget the bucket. And a mop while we at it, right? Because it's a web. Bucket. Spanish rice. Yep. Okay, you guys. So here we go. He put the burn cream on her brand and burn wounds. When asked whether she took off her shirt for the branding, ex-boyfriend explained she did, but that she was not generally walking around naked, although he knew about her breast implants and that she was having issues with them. Ex-boyfriend recalled that Papini asked him to put the brand on her within the first week that she was with him. So the cutting of the hair and putting up of the boards and like branding, that was all in the first week. Ex-boyfriend had wanted to keep the wood burning tool and thought he might use it to, work on wood or something. But Papini told him to throw it away, and he did. You see, that's like a jealousy issue right there. She's worried in her mind that he will do this again to someone one day. Right? You will not be branding anyone else but me. You will not even be branding wood. You throw that away. Okay. Yeah, it puts the lotion in the basket. Right? She was having issues with more than just those implants. Exactly. Yeah, let's not forget the spoon, right? Mm. We must write that. But the spoon was, she probably packed that in. She probably packed the damn spoon in, right? Ex-boyfriend described how Papini got some type of rash at one point on her arms. Ex-boyfriend did not know what to do, so he went to the store and bought all the different creams for rashes. Oh, are you sure it was on her arm, though? Papini wanted to scrub the stains out of ex-boyfriend's carpet. Okay, interesting. And asked ex-boyfriend to go to Walmart and buy cleaning supplies. Awkward. Papini had been scrubbing the floor and ended up having hives on her arms. Ex-boyfriend did not know what caused the rash or what she was allergic to. Ex-boyfriend believed Papini got the rash pretty early on when she was staying with him. Even though ex-boyfriend bought ointment for her to use, Papini continued to have the rash the rest of the time that she stayed with him. Okay. Carpet burns, maybe. Yeah, now we're off to Walmart. Stefan's like, what stains? I'm also wondering now. I'm like, what the hell? Ex-boyfriend explained that he and Papini had been in a previous romantic relationship that ended in approximately 2006. Ex-boyfriend said that he wasn't sure of Papini's intentions during her stay with him, but he believed they might end up in a romantic relationship again. You see? Ex-boyfriend stated that he did not know how long Papini planned to be away from her family or what the final plan was, and whether that included them getting back together. He said that during their prior relationship, they were in love at the time, but that was young love. Ex-boyfriend stated that he and Papini did not have sex while she stayed with him and said that it was not a sexual thing. You know what? I beg to differ. My theory about this case has always been like, Do you believe that? Katie. Shooting hockey pucks at your girlfriend isn't romantic, bro. We also have to put hockey pucks on the list and also catnip, right? I know. No way, right? Stefan's like, no way. This is not a sexual thing at all. This was all just innocent fun. It does seem odd, but why would he lie? To hide the part of him that would totally be humiliated by the FBI or what? You know, it might be something that he, keeps really close to the chest. I'm gonna say he doesn't have a vest. Hmm? Hit me, babe, with that puck. Puck me. Right? She's like, puck me, bro. He's like, what the hell? No, literally, hockey stick puck. Let's go. He's like, oh man, I thought you meant something else. You mean like literally hockey puck? Yeah, puck me now, boy. Wow. This case. Okay. Shortly before Thanksgiving, Papini asked ex-boyfriend to take her back to Reading. Papini said she missed her children and wanted to go home. She told ex-boyfriend, I'm ready to go. Ex-boyfriend asked his friend person 3 to rent a car for him again, which ex-boyfriend used to drive Papini back home. Ex-boyfriend believed he and Papini left late in the evening the day before Thanksgiving or very early in the morning on Thanksgiving Day and drove straight through without stopping, towards Reading. No coffee or breaks this time? Hmm? Yeah, exactly. Puck me. Exactly. Well, Gisela, I was gonna post that, and I said I better not. You go, girl. Puck me. Well, that's what she was saying, right? She's like, come on. Oh no. Are people gonna clip this? Other content creators be like, this is disgusting. This woman's laughing at this case. The hockey puck thing was too much. I know, it's too easy, right? And it's come out with a limited edition of the board game Scrabble. Scrabble with Sherri, consisting of words on a shopping list, right? It's a horde. It's a horde hockey puck. Oh man. Okay. Focus. We're almost there. So they drove straight through without stopping. It took approximately 7 hours. Ex-boyfriend said he did not drop off Papini on the side of the I-5, but on a road off the freeway. Ex-boyfriend described the road as a country road. Ah, country road. Take me home like country road. I get it. Alongside an orchard. The road was dark with no lights and was pretty barren in that area. Ex-boyfriend drove back to Orange County and attended Thanksgiving dinner at his aunt's house in San Pedro at approximately 11 a.m. Whoa, dude. You just like went straight to your aunt's house for lunch? Nice. Oh, man. Keith was like, dang, she back. Whew, okay. So he goes to his auntie's house there for some Thanksgiving dinner. Whoa, that was a long drive. Ex-boyfriend said that Papini had stuff in a bag with her when they drove back to Reading. Papini used these items. Oh my word. She used these items to bind her own wrists and ankles, including a chain that he likely purchased for her. I'm sure the chain was purchased along there somewhere at the Hobby Lobby, right? Additionally, ex-boyfriend stated that Papini brought a prepaid phone with her, which she tossed out of the car as they drove back to Reading. Ex-boyfriend described the phone Papini brought with her as a black smartphone, such as an Apple iPhone or Samsung phone. Before Papini left ex-boyfriend's residence, she bagged up anything that could be traced to her and threw the bag of her belongings in the dumpster outside ex-boyfriend's residence. Oh, that's dumb. Didn't watch enough crime shows there, lady. Ex-boyfriend told investigators that his cousin and the cousin's spouse, person 4, knew that Papini was staying with him. Ex-boyfriend told cousin that Papini was going to come stay with him before ex-boyfriend went and picked Papini up. One night, when cousin had been drinking, cousin tried to come into ex-boyfriend's house through the back door, and ex-boyfriend had to remind cousin that Papini was there and that cousin could not come over. Well, that sounds sketchy as hell, right? Take me home. Country road, yeah. You guys make me laugh. Puck it up. Puck it up. Oh man. Okay. Breathe. Yeah, to remind, can you just imagine like cousins like all like drinking, like woohoo, coming through the back door as always. And he's like, listen, cousin, remember now, Sherry's here. Wow, this sounds weird. Interesting. Ex-boyfriend also said that he told his mother that Papini was staying with him, but she did not know the details. Ex-boyfriend explained that his mother became concerned and called ex-boyfriend after she started to see the news stories about Papini's disappearance. Ex-boyfriend described himself as being rattled by his experience with Papini and was concerned about what his involvement with her meant for him. At the time Papini was with him, he believed he was helping out a friend. It did not occur to him that he could get in trouble until he started seeing the news stories regarding Papini's disappearance and her allegations that she had been kidnapped. Ex-boyfriend said, once it hit, like, you see everything on the news, but then when it starts getting to the bigger, all right, we're dedicating 2020 to Papini's disappearance, ex-boyfriend was surprised by the news stories and told investigators that at one point he thought to himself, I'm not going to make any calls because it's like I'm turning myself in for nothing. Ex-boyfriend said he figured if the truth was discovered about Papini's disappearance, law enforcement would come to him and he would not fight it. Ex-boyfriend did not know there were money rewards for Papini's return until long after Papini left. Feels again like a BS. Investigators asked ex-boyfriend if he had spoken to Papini since he drove her back to Reading, and ex-boyfriend stated, haven't talked to her since then. Really? I know, right? My favorite kind of friends, ride or die on a whole different level. Oh, man. The final puck down, right? Yeah, the ex-boyfriend needs to learn the word no. Yeah, I wonder if she had yelled, goal. Wow. Yeah, the hat trick. So fucking good. Sure. Exactly. Pucking Papini is the name of the book coming out. Lieutenant Peter Pronzo, hey, what's going on? Sounds like one of those old-fashioned cop parties. It's getting interesting, right? Oh, man. During his interview, ex-boyfriend provided details to investigators about Papini's injuries that were not known to the public, which tended to indicate that he did have first-hand knowledge related to Papini's disappearance. Through subsequent investigation, investigators were able to corroborate ex-boyfriend's account in additional ways. Telephone records showed that ex-boyfriend and Papini were in telephonic contact using their known phone numbers approximately 29 times from December 2015 through March of 2016 prior to Papini's disappearance. Ex-boyfriend's work schedule showed him off work on November 1st and 2nd, 2016, which were not his normal days off. He put in some leave for that, huh? This matches the dates he drove to Reading to pick up Papini. His rental car receipts also proved it. Of course, now they're just going over everything that proved that he was, in fact, involved. Yes. The table that she described being tied to when she was branded matched in appearance to a table in a Facebook post by ex-boyfriend's brother, which was taken at ex-boyfriend's residence. Yeah. Puck squad. Yeah, my guess is law enforcement kind of let some of boyfriend's story slide just to get his full cooperation. That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, anytime we need a good laugh, we need to make sure if we ever need a pick-me-up, we need to refer people to this episode. Don't worry, I will keep this up. Okay. So yes, we've got that. According to records from Pinterest, on or before November 6th, 2016, Papini pinned photographs of wood-burning tools to a secret board titled Gift Ideas. To that Pinterest, huh? Oh, my word. Ex-boyfriend told investigators Papini told him to purchase prepaid phones so that they could communicate with each other using phones that would not be attributable to them. Ex-boyfriend could not recall the numbers of the prepaid phones they used and said that Papini threw her phone out of the vehicle's window as ex-boyfriend was driving her back home. I wonder if they ever found that phone. Huh? Toll record analysis identified this phone number, a prepaid phone number, as being a phone number that contacted both ex-boyfriends and Papini's known phone numbers. And then, yeah, they're going over all the phone records. We're on page 41. We're almost there. I think that was all the good stuff, though. So I'm just making sure, I'm just skimming here. Anytime anyone was near ex-boyfriend's residence, Papini would call ex-boyfriend and ex-boyfriend would call cousin to run off whoever the person was. Cousin ran off several people during this time, including random neighbors, delivery drivers, the landlord, and maintenance workers. Cousin stated that cousin saw Papini on 2 separate occasions. On the first occasion, cousin was walking down the driveway of cousin's residence and saw Papini standing in the window of ex-boyfriend's apartment. When Papini saw cousin, she immediately retreated back into the residence. On the second occasion, cousin went to ex-boyfriend's house late at night, which was normal prior to Papini being there. Cousin forgot Papini was at ex-boyfriend's house and entered ex-boyfriend's back door. Did he now? When the cousin entered the residence, cousin saw Papini in the living room before she ran into a rear bedroom. The rear bedroom. They named them. Anyway. Cousin also told SCSO detectives that ex-boyfriend said that Papini was hurting herself. Ex-boyfriend told cousin that Papini asked ex-boyfriend to punch her in the face, but ex-boyfriend refused to do so. Ex-boyfriend told cousin that Papini cut her hair and had purposefully hit her head on the bathtub and bathroom floor. Wow. Yeah, his cousin code. Papini. Yeah. Right? The cousin came through the back door and she dashed off to the rear bedroom. Oh, I see. It's like they say the cousin didn't know she was there, but yet the cousin did. Because ex-boyfriend would call the cousin to chase away people who were around the house, who were making Papini over here uncomfortable. Here they go. Papini's continued lies upon confrontation. And this we saw yesterday, right? Do you guys remember that? They say, all we want is truthful statements because it's a crime to lie to federal officers. Understood? Papini nodded her head in agreement. She nevertheless continued to make false statements regarding her supposed abduction. They wanted her to detail the differences. She went the younger one, older one, all that stuff. The coffee table stuff. This we saw yesterday in the footage, the interrogation tape. Remember that? Yeah, so that's what they're going over here. They say the only way to control things is for us to know. She's like, I don't want to press charges against the younger one. You are the younger one in your own imagination. Jane says, attention-seeking puck. There'll be a new drink called the Pucktini Martini. It sounds great. Yeah, boyfriend was scared AF. He made multiple cries for help. He was the real hostage. I can only imagine, right? I think he bit off a little bit more than he could chew there. He's like, I'll help you. And then he's like, oh my word, what is going on here? She's like cutting her hair off and like knocking herself out and doing yoga in the closet, shitting in a bucket with kitty litter. She's like, I made a mistake. I talked to other men I shouldn't have. And then, of course, investigators said, talking to other guys is not a crime. Right? Now, let's just quickly go to this crowdsourced money meant to bring her home, where it was used to pay off credit cards. On November 4th, 2016, a friend of husband's created a GoFundMe campaign called Help Find Sherri Papini, with the following stated purpose. Please help us in raising money to bring Sherri home safe. All funds will go directly to the Papini family and will be used for search efforts to find Sherri and to help bring her home safely. Every dollar counts, and as time is critical. Thanks. On the same date, in response to a donor's question as to how the funds would be used, a campaign update was made to the GoFundMe campaign stating, thank you to everyone who has donated so far today. The funds will be used in any means necessary for the family to find and bring Sherri home. On the GoFundMe campaign's page, under the heading of Organizer and Beneficiary, husband was listed as the organizer and member of husband's family was listed as beneficiary. On November 7, 2016, a campaign update was written on the GoFundMe campaign's page by husband, organizer, as follows. Thank you all so much for your donations. I'm very happy that Papini family asked me to help get this GoFundMe account established. Your generosity, concern, and prayers are very much appreciated by the Papini family. In total, the GoFundMe campaign raised approximately $49,070, almost $50K. GoFundMe used a third-party service called WePay that was administered by JP Morgan Chase Bank. In essence, the GoFundMe campaign beneficiary was able to withdraw funds from the GoFundMe campaign through a bank account set up through WePay by JP Morgan Chase. Husband was a check signer on the JP Morgan Chase bank account used to withdraw the GoFundMe campaign's accounts. On December 6, 2016, after Papini was recovered, husband wrote check number 101 in the amount of $31,818.13 from the GoFundMe campaign's bank account. Interesting amount there. At JP Morgan Chase Bank to himself. Husband then signed the check, endorsed the check, and deposited into his personal bank account via a mobile deposit on the same date. On December the 6th, 2016, husband wrote check number 103 in the amount of $1,160.06 from the GoFundMe campaign's bank account to a JP Morgan Chase bank to Papini. Husband signed the check as the signatory. Papini endorsed the check and deposited the check into a personal bank account. See, now it's sounding like a scheme, right? A whole scam, a scheme, a ploy, a hoax, a money-making hoax. I don't know. The remaining amount of funds that husband withdrew from the GoFundMe campaign were transferred into husband and Papini's personal bank accounts and was spent on personal expenses. Like the pucks. 2 pucks. And a bucket and some kitty litter. Oh my word. Papini fraudulently obtained thousands in victim assistance. On November 28, 2016, she applied to the California Victim Compensation Board for assistance. They provide financial assistance to victims of violent crimes. In the application, a series of questions were asked to determine the eligibility of the victim for this service, right? The questions and responses in Papini's application were as follows. Summary of the incident. Sherri was running in her neighborhood when 2 suspects produced handguns and ordered her into their vehicle. The suspects then held her captive for 22 days before releasing her. Did the victim reasonably try to avoid or stop the events that resulted in his or her injuries or death? She attempted to escape several times. Did the victim reasonably cooperate in the investigation and prosecution? She has fully cooperated with the investigation. If there was no arrest and or prosecution for purposes of determining eligibility, in your professional opinion, is it more likely than not that the crime occurred? We have not located or identified the suspects, she answered. The application further stated, for the victim of the crime, the following benefits may be available. Please check the crime-related expenses that you are requesting. The boxes for medical and or dental expenses, moving or relocation expenses, mental health treatment, and home security improvements were all checked. Papini signed the application on November 28, 2016, under penalty of perjury. Above her signature were the statements inter alia. As required by the California law, I will contact and repay the California Victim Compensation Program if I or anyone on my behalf receives any payments for losses suffered as a direct result of the crime that was the basis for receipt of benefits from the service. All monies I receive from CalVCB for moving, relocation expense, improving home security will be used only for those purposes. She needed some bigger guns, or what? Home security. New original underwear, or what? Oh, my word. This is just ridiculous. I declare under penalty of perjury that all the information I provided is true, correct, and complete to the best of my knowledge and belief. I understand that I may be found to be ineligible for benefits and that action may be taken to recover benefits I receive if I provide information that is false, intentionally incomplete, or misleading. In addition to signing the application, the Office of the DA of Shasta County required that Papini sign a declaration of understanding of application and expenses, and she signed that. She initialed after each requirement and signed the declaration on November 28, 2016. That was quick, huh? She only got back on the 24th, remember? The declaration stated, I've been informed by a Crime Victims Assistance Center advocate that all decisions pertaining to eligibility and payments of expenses are determined by the claims department. And all the rest of that fine print. Home security for those original underwear. They are precious. Exactly, Chris Neal. They needed a safety box for that. Yeah. True, correct, complete. Should turn boyfriend's apartment into an escape room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sell pucks on Puck Bay. Yeah. Kidnappers. We don't know why she wanted to poop in a puck. Oh, man. Yeah, I knew she wanted home improvements. She's going to have to sell them implants on eBay, right? Wow. Okay, guys, we almost made it right through this. My goodness. November 28, 2016. Let's see what happened here. Okay, they sent this. The application was received. And then what? She got almost $30,000, I believe. They limited the number of mental health sessions that could be reimbursed per application. I can't believe she got therapy as part of this too. Her therapist diagnosed her with acute post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and stated specifically that Papini had been kidnapped at gunpoint, held hostage for 22 days, and physically and emotionally tortured, beaten, burnt, branded, and drugged. You duped the therapist too. The additional treatment plans also stated the following. The therapist should sue her as well, right? The additional treatment plans also stated the following to explain why additional treatment was needed. Due to the dramatic nature of the crime and the fact that the client has had multiple interviews with law enforcement agencies, the trauma has been reactivated on multiple occasions. That one of the greatest factors affecting this client's treatment include the fact that her captors have not been located. Based on these submissions by Papini's therapist, the Cal VCB approved additional mental health treatments be covered for Papini's fraudulent PTSD on 7 separate occasions. Oh, what an insult to anyone with PTSD or needing therapy in any way. Fraudulent PTSD, damn. Patty says, I knew from the first interview this was a hoax and she was lying. Is he really ex or forced to publicly divorce her, especially considering the timing? Interesting. She was diagnosed with multiple puck wounds. Headline: Boyfriend proposes with a hockey puck. Will you puck me? I know, right? Still infuriating that she paid off her debts with this fraud while so many hardworking people are barely surviving. Imagine all the people that donated. Oh my gosh. If I was only allowed to eat half a banana, I would need therapy. We played that yesterday, so if you want to check that episode out, we went over the whole thing yesterday. Yesterday I tried not to be too snarky. Today was quite fun though, my word. So look at all of this. Payment to Papini to purchase blinds for home. Here's the blind definition. That's the home improvements. Home security. Blinds. Beautiful blinds. Payment to the ambulance provider who transported Papini after her return. Expensive, huh? Ambulances. Whew. Payment to Papini's therapist in treatment for anxiety and PTSD from her purported kidnapping. $81? Shame. But yeah, also to Papini's therapist in treatment for anxiety and PTSD from a kidnapping, $2,997. Ambulance provider, another $1,000, and so it goes on. Oh, the therapist is getting a lot of payment here. Okay. A puck sticker. Can make a whole puck merch range. Wow, look at all that. Yeah, therapist got paid. That's why she's not suing or what. I'd be so angry if I was her. Mail fraud. On or about the date listed below, Papini did knowingly cause to be deposited and did knowingly cause to be delivered a matter and thing, a matter and thing to be sent and delivered by the U.S. mail according to the directions thereon, as more specifically set forth below. A payment of $2,997 to Papini's therapist in treatment for anxiety and PTSD from her purported kidnapping. Oh, so that's the mail fraud. Wow. Conclusion: based on the foregoing, there's probable cause to believe that Papini violated title. All this, okay, and that's why now she's been sentenced to 18 months in prison, which I don't feel is long enough, man. After all that, 18 months. Well, now she's gonna live her dream. She'll be freaking literally in a cell, literally the shackles, the chains, little bits of food, exercising in her cell. I mean, she's living the dream. It doesn't even sound fair. In prison, she's living her dream. Am I right? She's gonna be on all fours. Everybody else, they better be ready for her in prison, because the minute they look at her, she's gonna be on all fours. After all this craziness, I think I found my dream girl. Therapist needs extra education, right? She needs to do life just for telling such a bad story. A cell block filled with Hispanic women only. With a bucket. 18 months in Puck House. Oh, man. Yep, in a women's prison. I mean, like, literally, this is what she's manifested now, right? Wow. But what I do want to do now is let's do this one. This. And then Hold on 1 second. I will just do I'm not going to show the whole thing. Hell no, not again. But I want to show you. Wow. When I look at my YouTube search history, just to find what we watched yesterday together is like scroll, 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 scroll. It's so long. Scroll, scroll, and more scrolling. Goodness. There we go. What I didn't show yesterday. Oh, I'm like, what is that? Share the screen. Was this initial bit when her husband Keith is in the room here? And she's talking about the younger one. She's talking about, I don't want to press charges against the younger one. Look at this. Oh, wait, let's boost it first.
But I want to give you that opportunity first. But obviously everything's fearful. If you tell him to leave and what I'm going to say is benign, then he's going to, we can pull him back in the room. Like, hey, Keith, come back in. This is what we talked about. So there, that fear of him wigging out. Why is she trying to hide something from me? There isn't none. If there's been help me.
Yeah, there's no trick here. We're just trying to make sure that there's comfortable to talk, because you can't be to talk to us, truthfully.
They're asking you, they're not asking me. Obviously, I would want to be here and whatever needs to come out.
And you can change your mind in the future too. If you
But no
want to
matter what,
change
it's gonna be up, so.
like I said in the beginning, you're free to go. So if you wanted to chat with them privately, that's fine too, but we want to talk to you.
And we can leave the room, give you guys the room for a couple minutes. This next stage of things could be benign, could be like, we forgot to tell you this, or, oh yeah, all these things make sense now. I could tell you the puzzle that makes it all come together, or I can tell the puzzle that crashes everything apart. I don't know what that piece is, honestly. All I know is facts. All I know is certain specific items that will either tear the castle down or is going to build the castle up. And I don't want to tear the castle down and not give you the ability to then fix your own castle, even if it's just a small thing here or it's the whole castle. I want you to be able to choose that. So we can step out of the room, let you guys talk, because I don't know what information I'm going to do, if it's life-changing news or if it's, oh yeah, everything's fine. I just don't know what it is. Usually, right, we show the pictures because
I just want to go forward slightly because you can see here, like right here, they leave the room. And then look how she talks to her husband here.
You need to stop waiting and tell me the truth. I don't want to know what's happening. Yeah, whatever you're doing, it doesn't mean stuff to me. I don't want to. I don't give a shit about that. I don't want them to find her.
She says, I don't want them to find her. I don't want them to find the little one, basically, the younger one. And again, I'm going to say in her imagination, the younger one is her.
I don't want them to find her. I don't want her to be arrested. I don't want to press charges on her. I don't want to find her.
Explain to me right now that you were frightened.
This poor man.
I don't know. I don't want them to find her. You're not listening
But
to
tell
me.
me why.
Because she saved my life.
But tell me, honey, there's obviously something like that. There's obviously something. Tell me this is going to be really bad if you don't tell me.
Look at I'm talking right now. I am fucking with you.
No, that's not me.
I don't want them to find her. I don't want to press charges, and I don't want to go down that road.
But you tell her.
I don't want to go down that road. I don't
Tell
want
me
to
why.
arrest her. Because she saved my life, and she's the reason why I get to hold my children every single day.
Can you believe this? She's the reason that I get to hold my children every day because the young one let me go. Yeah, exactly.
But when you find her,
I don't want them to arrest her.
why?
Because she saved my life.
So you don't press charges. You still need to find out who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that, do you think it just sits here? This comes out, they find the house, it's over, whatever happened.
Katie's asking, I was too busy pucking around. Did you say what her sentence was reduced to? She's got 18 months. That's what she was sentenced to, but 36 months after that supervised. Her lawyers wanted her to have 8 months. They applied, but they did not get 8 months. She got 18 months.
And it doesn't matter what you say, the girl's gonna get in trouble. So, you need to tell them the truth. They're not the truth. If you don't want to press charges, then that's up to you. You're not making sense now. To the point where I'm getting scared now. So you need to tell me what's going on immediately.
Oh boy, they're coming back in the room. Boom, boom. Here they come.
Yeah. Or I can talk to them and tell them later. Thank you. So just do you want me in the room or not?
And obviously,
Hopefully you've had a chance to chat briefly.
the fears,
Later, maybe.
Nothing-
Just answer the question.
nothing that I'll say to you, I won't eventually tell him, if you want me to.
Do you want me to just tell them
She does.
what your fears are?
We would love to hear what you're hearing, because we want to be able to address them as best we can.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. She's like, I don't know.
I feel like you're in the driver's seat right now.
I think it's easier to control things once you know what the information is, to be honest with you. Sure.
Mm.
So I can tell you what it is. Say what it is when Keith leaves, and then you can say yes or no, whether or not you want him in there for the rest of it.
Right now, he's just, am I in the room or am I other? So that's the.
And I'm to the point.
Prison toilets shouldn't be too bad after using a bucket full of kitty litter. Unless she's going to miss that kitty litter, right? She's like, where's the kitty litter? Saving up all the commissary. I want to buy kitty litter.
Where if you want him here, we'll just go on with the conversation.
As long as you're not interrupting or
Yeah.
causing any disturbance.
I'll just stay over here.
But if he steps out, I can say a name, and then you can choose whether you want him in here for the rest of it or not. It's completely up to you. Or I can just continue on and.
Now, this is where we started yesterday. So go check out yesterday's episode because this is when she's like literally busted. Okay. Wow. That was quite a night, huh? What I want to do quickly now again, 1 second. 1 second. We're almost done. Is. Wow. Hold on 1 second. Trying to find Katie's email over here. There it is. I got so many nice bullet points from Katie in this case. And I just want to find the name. Oh man, I've got so many emails. Really hard. So I'm just going to show this. Hope it's okay. This is what I want to mention. Okay, wait, this is too small. I'm just going to read it like this. In 1998, Tara Smith, this is the one I referenced the other day. This other lady, Tara Smith, went missing on the same gravel road as Sherri Papini. So it's like Sherri, if you thought her case wasn't layered enough and crazy enough, it's like she copied this missing person story of someone that she knew because she went to Tara Smith's same high school, even though they were not actually friends or associates. So it's like, let's say Sherri was speculatively obsessed with Tara Smith. Tara Smith went missing in 1998. On an August evening in 1998, Tara was grounded at the time for sneaking out. The next day, she never showed up for work, and the mother called home to check on her. Tara's younger sister answered the phone and said she'd gone jogging. Yeah, see? She copied this story. Her mom drove around looking for her with friends and nobody had seen her. One of her friends revealed she had been having an inappropriate relationship with her taekwondo instructor, Troy Zink. Tara had already told her dad about Troy before and shared with him all these wonderful things about Troy. This rubbed the father the wrong way. After Tara disappeared, Troy was questioned extensively by law enforcement. Troy told police that Tara called him at work and wanted to see him. He went and she asked for $2,000. He said he might lend her the money if he knew what it was for. She got mad at him and dropped her off on the same Oregon Trail road, exactly where Sherri went jogging, and her phone was recovered. Troy told Tara's parents he went up to Hang Glider Hill and prayed for hours after he dropped her off. Her parents found a letter that Tara had written to Troy stating she wanted to end things. The Smiths thought she decided to tell him in person versus a letter. It's discovered that Troy has a criminal record and served jail time for SA prior to Tara going missing. Do you see this? What a damn shame. So not only is she creating this entire fantasy and hoax, the fantasy is based on another missing person's case. A lady that went missing in 1998. And they've never found her body. Troy's business was searched where they found weapons. This was in violation of his parole and what led him to serve 4 years in prison. No evidence ever linked him to Tara's disappearance, and he was never charged. The whole community rallied around Tara's family for months with media appearances, searches, vigils, and with $20,000 in reward, and none of it led anywhere. Tara's body has yet to be discovered. 18 years later, news reports of Sherri Papini being missing on a run on the same road begin. Troy was looked into regarding Sherri's disappearance, but was ruled out, and Tara's parents even believed there was no correlation. No, like literally, right? All her lies are based on some reality. But it's like in her mind, it's like, from her MySpace, possibly Hispanic girls at school with her. And then Tara Smith, a girl that went to school with her, even though they weren't friends or whatever, maybe she just admired her, wanted to be her, goes missing. And from someone who has SA charges already. And so the fantasy starts building in her mind. Yeah, what a fucking loser. Right? True crime can be so depressing. Thanks, Grizzly, for shaking it up. I do love shaking it up. It's like, thank you for being here. And thank you for appreciating that. It's a difficult balance sometimes because true crime can be very depressing. So some of these cases, it's like, what? Yeah. Thank you so much, Katie, for this wonderful bullet point summary. I really like it a lot. It's a full summary of a Dateline episode. Amazing. If you guys ever send me bullet points, it's going to make me smile. Love that. So, yeah, we've got our shopping list here. Scribble. Coconut body wash, diapers, kitty litter, sweats, apples, lace masks, ridged paper plates, half a banana, burn cream, a scratching post, a bucket, a spoon, hockey pucks, catnip, wood burning tool. Oh, man. Who's going to puck with her now? I wouldn't puck her with someone else's hockey stick. Puck, no. Dingo muffin. Oh, man. Thank you, everyone. You said great job. Gee, everyone needed this. Thank you so much, you guys. So we finished it in under 3 hours. I thought this could take 5 hours. Under 3 hours, not too bad, actually. Looking at some interrogation stuff, chatting in between, and making memories that I think we will never forget. 536 people and me. We're never going to forget this episode. This is OG stuff. This goes into the OG vault original. This is original underwear stuff. Oh, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, mods. Sorry, that was quite long. I always feel for the mods. I'm like, my bad. I'm really sorry. But I don't think we had any trolls or anything too bad, right? This is the thing. Sherri wanted the attention that Tara's case received, and sadly, she got it. So you got it and more. Yeah, well, Puck, under 5 hours. Impressive. Thank you. Burn that list. Oh, come on. I want to go to the grocery store and start buying this. We'll get some of that. Send it to someone special. Who wants a care package? Imagine it. I'll be like, a care package from the Netherlands. Coconut. What you will receive is coconut body wash, diapers, kitty litter, sweats. I can't send the apples overseas, right? But lace masks, ridged paper plates. Can't send a banana either. But burn cream, kitty litter. No, sorry, I mean catnip, scratch post. I already said the kitty litter. A bucket, that'll be very difficult, right? A spoon, hockey pucks. Thank you, Miss Stewie. I know, right? Imagine if she actually did poop in a bucket, as someone said. Wow. Zip ties. That's a good one to add to the list. We do need some of that. We need some zip ties over here. Zip tie. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. I will see you again soon. Let me actually, how do I make this now? Wait. I don't know how to do it now. Right after this, I'll make the live stream I have for Sunday. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I have a live stream on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, I think it is. I think it's 9 p.m. my time, 1 o'clock Eastern. And you know the Irene Gakwa case, missing person Irene Gakwa? I'm having Soldier Mom, who's been leading her searches, here with us for an interview. So that'll be the next plan tomorrow. I would love to look at the Deborah Collier case a little more. So I don't know if I'll be making videos tomorrow because I'd love to go out too. Because you guys know on Patreon, normally I try to head out the door on a Saturday and go and see some animals or film something or do something. K5, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I'd shoot hockey pucks at you. Yeah, llama face. You guys have seen my llama face, right? Where did I do llama face? I think that was on my other channel. Oh, yes. I think tomorrow, actually, Mr. Grizzly's going to go live. That's cool. So tomorrow I'm going to be on a break a little bit. I think Mr. Grizzly's going live tomorrow on Sakura Aviation. So look out for that. And then on Sunday, he's going on a business trip. So you guys will be with me all week. He won't be here. It'll be me, Fury, and Hannah. Everyone, have a pucking good night. Puck you. Yeah, puck face. Puck face. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.